Silent screaming before I unmute. Oh my frick! Look what the frick the cat dragged in after all this time. Oh my gosh. Holy shnikes. Y'all, thanks for showing up and showing out after I abandoned you. For like, realistically, video-wise, we dropped off for a little bit there. Unfortunate timing in a very untimely fashion with our Reactober horror reactions, because there I was dropped off the literal week of Halloween. What the flick exactly farting at? Oh my god, you guys, my friends, it's so good to see y'all again. Holy crap. Shout out to Simply, Sean, Trent Rushton, Charlie, Fartigaz. When's your channel getting up and running, Fartigaz? I see you tweeting. I see you teasing us with your setup. I'm so excited. I'm patiently awaiting the day. Colin, oh my gosh, Nick Gundy, Jay, Bird Church, Matthew, holy shnikes, you guys. The Real Varmint, what's up? Ricky Moran, Zesty, Matthew, oh my gosh, Daddy Josh, what's up? I'll be popping in and out. Good to see you too, Daddy Josh. I hope you are well. And y'all, stay frickin' tuned. We have so much to catch up on, but I am especially behind on a very exciting reaction that might or might not have something to do with Daddy Josh. Y'all, that sounds extremely vague, extremely mysterious, but you will see. Stanley's, let's go. Ben Miller, oh my gosh. Building begins today. Let's get it, y'all. Oh my gosh, we are in for a treat. Fartigas, get his channel up and running. I can't freaking wait. Oh my gosh. Chopper! No freaking way. We are so freaking back. Oh my gosh, y'all. First off, I look like I haven't aged. I have 3. I have also cool username. I don't know if that's inspired by all roads lead back to Sleep Token for me. I don't know if that's inspired by their use of Roman numerals for anonymity, but welcome, welcome. Oh my gosh, and shout out to our top rankers. We got Simply up in number 2, Daddy Josh at number 3, and Sean at number 1. Not surprised, not surprised. Joshua, hello from Long Beach. That's gonna make me depressed because we are no longer neighbors. Oh gosh, yes. Last time I saw y'all, last time we went live and streamed, I was a West Coast girl. I was an LA girl, and here we are. I'm grateful that y'all think I haven't aged today, because I feel like I have. I freaking feel like I have, y'all. I feel like I've lived 1,000 lifetime since I've last seen you guys. I'm gonna quickly finish painting my pinky nail here. I'm doing a little bit of multitasking, and we're gonna paint our nails while we stream and catch up because I figure this is the perfect place to do it because I need something stationary to do. Where I'm not moving around or touching anything for several hours on end. Charlie! Holy shit! It's a member for 49 months. Holy shnikes! I will catch the rewatch when I get home at 6 p.m. getting ready to be on the road. But thanks for watching the thing. Thank you, Charlie. I am so sorry I didn't watch that sooner. That's my only regret. I wish I had. Awesome seeing Visions. Okay, disclaimer, thank you, reminder. I still haven't watched Visions, so no spoilers yet, y'all. I'm a terrible fan. Much love. Peace out to you, Charlie. I hope you have a great day. And hey, we might still be going because I did tease yesterday we might be doing a mega stream today to make up for it. I don't think your software is using your mic. Sounds like it's the camera mic. Oh, hang on. You're not nitpicking at all, Chop. Let's find out. You know what? Well, you were right. Hello, hello. Testing. Oh, shnikes. That's a lot louder. You know what? I had a suspicion too because the volume wasn't spiking. I think. Thank you, Chop, because that would have irritated me. That would have gotten on my nerves had I gone this entire stream without that. So thank you. Shout out to Chop, who's literally in film school right now. Leave it to Chop to be like, your audio saved me. Thank you. Much better. Thank you. Thank you so much, Chop. Patrick Kelly, speaking of cinematography, what is up? Good to see you. I also have not watched Visions. Oop, me either. And y'all, it took me like over a year to actually watch Visions season 2 because I debated whether I was going to do reactions to it. So I don't think I'm going to do reactions to Visions volume 3. Maybe I will, though, because some of these storylines are getting extended, so I don't know. It's been forever. Heck yes, Mike Hill. Shout out, member for 41 months on the master level. Miss seeing your streams. I missed doing them, y'all. I felt so, like, disconnected. Shout out to everybody for showing up in the middle of the day. I feel bad because, like, the weekends have just been coming and going, and I keep mentally planning, like, girl, you have to stream. Because yes, we were posting out the wazoo for Reactober, but that doesn't feel the same. It still doesn't feel like I've, like, actually hung out with you guys. So the time, just days, weeks, they came and went. And so I was like, all right, it's now or never. I got to do this sooner than later. So apologies that we're doing this in the middle of a day on a Thursday, but thank y'all for showing up. I was afraid there were only going to be 2 people here because we're doing this in, like, the middle of the day. But fear not, we're going to be going for a couple of hours because I owe it to y'all and I have nothing better to be doing. What's up, Wayne? What's up? I'm really loving the new background. Thank you, Chop. Yes, holy frick, I don't even know where to begin. We have a new setup. I'm so glad that you guys like it. Colin, what is up? Glad that you could be here. Long time no see. Missed this so much, as did I. Y'all, my cheeks are gonna hurt from smiling this whole time. Hope everything's good and worked with all the things moving and stuff. Well, thank you so much, Colin, and thank you for your membership for 45 freaking months. Holy shnikes. And I'm glad that we could be streaming early enough over here so that I can actually see you. Maybe I'll be able to catch you more in streams because I think my time zone now, Eastern, will be a little bit more favorable for our European and British and United Kingdom friends. I picked the perfect day to stream for you, Matthew. Let's go. I'm off from my volunteering today. Well, let's get it. And major fart again. My 9 to 5 can get scuffed. I like that. Yes, stick it to the man. Nice to see a lot of people that I follow coming back from breaks. Sorry that I happened to take one at the same time in sync with a bunch of other people that you follow, Geek Ledger. I stopped watching a lot of my favorite critters because I was having health problems. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Well, I'm glad to see that you're back as well, too. Look at McBots, who's also chirping during the workday. Like us! Let's get it! Good to see you! Oh my gosh, but yes, y'all, we have been dialed out. Yes, we took a break to uproot our lives and move. And thank you, Colin, for the well wishes. Unfortunately, the move actually was genuinely the worst thing ever. The worst thing, picture as bad as you could imagine. Picture the least ideal, the worst possible moving circumstances. And that's what happened. Picture that and multiply it. That's unfortunately how it unfolded, but we're doing great now. That's over and done with. We're pretty much mostly, for the most part, settled in. We still honestly have a lot of boxes all over the place. We finally made it to DC. Heck yes. DC has seen better days. Yeah, we got here in the nick of time, right as the cultural climate was ramping up here, but that has not affected our lives as of yet. Thankfully. Timing was unfortunate for real. Yes. Yeah, but wow, I just blanked because we have so much to catch up on. But yeah, the moving parts stunk, but the cross-country travel was amazing. I missed a 24 months message and my volume could use a raise. You know what? Thank you, Sean, because I dialed it down a little bit because I'm perched up right here on the mic and I don't want to spike y'all's eardrums. Did I miss? I did miss one from you, Sean. Oh my gosh, so sorry. Did you put this in the pregame chat? Perhaps I missed it. Sorry about that. 24 months, aka 2 years now. Heck yes. Yes, like wow. And been a part of this community for over 5 years. Heck yes, I can't wait to see what happens next. Much love to you and Tom, of course. So happy to see you again. You guys have no idea how happy I am to see you. I've had many a breakdown of not not being dialed in, feeling like I'm away from y'all. So it's so good to be back. Thank you for holding out and your patience. Yeah, we were posting obviously during. So here's what happened. We had Reactober. I'm gonna keep painting my nails as we do this, so bear with me, folks. I promise I won't. I'll stay locked in. We had Reactober. That was great, but I definitely went too ham. I went too much too soon because I also was in this headspace of like, all right, overcompensating perhaps. Like, I have to make up for lost time because I really didn't post anything for the entire month of September because we were literally driving across the country and moving and then had to get our setup and everything, which, yes, I'm glad it is very different. And I think it was Simply who previously suggested maybe doing a new studio tour of the setup here. And it's very much still a mess right now, but I'm glad you guys are rocking with, because this is so much more subtle. I'm rocking with it too, though, I think, because we came at it from the self-promotion stance with my artwork and whatnot back here, but just kind of to streamline it and simplify it, because there was so much going on in the backdrop in our previous space, whereas this is a much smaller room where we're at. So perhaps I will do a studio tour once it's actually cleaned up and tidy in here, because right now behind the scenes, behind the camera, there's still boxes. There's still, I don't know what to do with all of our Funko Pops and whatnot. There's still a lot of like memorabilia and merch that does not have a home yet, but I'm glad that y'all like this backdrop. And fair warning as well to our members, I know you guys have light changing capabilities back there. I don't know if it's connected or in sync. I have to get it in sync with your guys' commands. So forgive me if it is not responsive to your guys' color changing requests. The new setup is awesome. Love your artwork. Thank you so much, Alex. I love it though. It looks so nice. Thank you guys. Honestly, I cannot take credit. It was really Tom who spearheaded the venture here and hung everything up. So shout out to him for that, because I can't use a drill. I can't do anything. What's up, Green Hour Hunter? Thank you for being here. Testing it for science. Yeah, give it a go, Sean, because maybe I don't know, because we also just haven't streamed. So I'm not sure if they're back in hello. If they're back in action, if they're locked in yet. Give it a try, see what happens, but apologies if they are not answering your commands. We will remedy that as soon as possible. So yes, this is a smaller space, but I like it a little bit better, honestly, because we're able to have a separate space here now for YouTube studio purposes and art studio purposes to pivot the conversation. So here we go. I'm just filling y'all in on why I disappeared for the past few weeks when I was going pedal to the metal for Reactober, and then I dropped off right the literal week of Halloween. It's because real life got real fast. So you guys know I started literally the day that no, maybe it was like the week after we moved in. I started classes for graduate school. Went back to academia with your guys' help. Low-key could not have fulfilled those applications and cranked on the artwork like we did last minute to try to muster up a portfolio to apply without your guys' moral support there for those paint streams. So fear not, we are going to bring those back. And you guys will get to see the new art studio because they previously were meshed. How is school going? It got real. Wait, Murder Photographs. Yes, I'm still reeling from the news this morning that Brasso was originally played by Rory McCann. Yes, crazy. I literally just saw that before I went live. Bonkers, wild. Would not have been opposed to it, but the actor who replaced him, because Rory McCann allegedly had this horrific injury that he was like incapable of working. But the guy who replaced him, I love. Like, that's Brasso to me. And Rory McCann, though, is coming in to fulfill the role of... He's going to be in Ahsoka, correct? So I guess it worked out. Maybe that's actually... Because, yeah, he probably was cast first in Andor, so he was on the casting director's radar. And now he's coming into Ahsoka Season 2. No? Did I just spread misinformation? I'm pretty sure, correct? He's, why is my brain... Can you all tell I've been out of it? Palin, yes, thank you, Major Fartcats. Oh my god. It's been too long since I've talked anything Star Wars. But yes, grad school has been literally exactly what I wanted it to be. It's been so fulfilling, and it's truly like literally everything I needed in my life, and in terms of my artistic direction and just kind of accountability and locking back in with all of that. So it started off pretty tame, so I think I underestimated the workload. I was like, this is fine. And then my first final assignment was due last week, yes. And that's why I dropped off, because I was like, oh, this is more than I thought it was gonna be. It kind of got very real quick. I was like, all right, I gotta lock in. I kind of have to, I put everything else on the back burner. So unfortunately, we had to cease the Reactober reactions, but fear not, we're still gonna keep going, because there are several on the list that I know I'm gonna be watching regardless, like Sinners 28 years later. The Mummy, I really want to get into that, because I just saw the news that there is going to be a long-awaited sequel now with the original cast members, like Brendan Fraser and whatnot. And in unusual fashion, like usually whenever you see that there's going to be like a remake or kind of like a very late installment, very after the fact sequel decades later, I feel like lately people don't react to that so favorably, because everybody's like, just do something original. But this was actually very positively met. I feel like the reaction that I saw to this news on Twitter was overwhelmingly like, heck yes. So I think I gotta lock in and do The Mummy, because I've never seen that. What's up, Casper? I'm so sorry, I probably mispronounced that. Hello from Poland. I was not partaking in Vader episode 2, but I hope everyone who has been is having an amazing time. Is there an anticipated due date for that yet? I've not been tuned in. But thank you for tuning in from Poland. Any ETA on the final batches of Korra? They should be out. You should be able to view them, Jamel. I finished that up right before we moved in the summertime. But you know what? They got really poor viewership, which is fine, because I deserve that, because I dropped off of the Korra content and I did it so intermittently that it probably was just not showing up on people's feeds, because I think a lot of people just thought that I dropped off and quit that show. It just took me embarrassingly long to finish that show. Nick Gundy, let's get it. Member for 45 months. Ms. Cat, glad to hear about grad school. Would there be Christmas plans for the channel? My recap, reading Lord of the Rings books and dropping new music tomorrow. Heck yes, Nick Gundy. I was just saying this. Fall/autumn is like Lord of the Rings time. This is prime Lord of the Rings season. So I'm due for a rewatch for all of those and reading the books. I've fallen out of my reading kick that I was on this year, thanks to Red Rising. I gotta get back. I gotta get back at it. Yes, watch the Mummy movies. Brendan Fraser's gotta hit the gym. I feel like he's been looking good lately, though, in some recent red carpet appearances. I don't know. He looks, I'm just happy that he's having a renaissance, because he honestly is a highlight of so many of my childhood staple films, like George of the Jungle and whatnot. Danny, holy crap. Was thinking of you, Danny, when I did my obligatory Shining rewatch over October. Thank you so very much. Sending great vibes to you and Tom during these times, especially in DC. Also, maybe the hunt for Ben Solo might be a worthy topic to discuss because of how it lit up the fandom. For real, amazing topic, amazing point, Danny. We had so much to catch up on today, and that was going to be a prime point. What is up, Ronan? Good to see you. Danny. Yes, Tom is not here to scream into the mic and blow everybody's ears out. But yes, holy frick. So yeah, in the midst of all that, the hunt for Ben Solo. Holy shnikes. Yeah, that is still, I think, we need to keep the hype for that going. I can already feel it like plateauing and kind of like simmering out, fizzling away. That was the fact that was trend, like the Star Wars fan base knows no bounds. Genuinely, the fact that people literally campaigned and had this entire freaking, you know, the helicopter that flew with the banner for it over Disney and whatnot, getting were they actually successful in getting a Times Square billboard for it? I think maybe. The way people have just gone all out for this. What's up, Ben? Oh my gosh, it has been a hot minute. It's really good to see you. I hope you're doing amazing. Another canceled movie, asks a film goer. Well, hopefully not. I'm hopefully not. I'm still not convinced that it wasn't a Disney psyop. I'm hoping it's not canceled, and I feel like there cannot be, for anyone who maybe is on not on the Twitterverse, the Star Wars Twitter fandom space, good for you, because it can be a hellscape at times. But it recently was revamped with when Adam Driver himself dropped the news that there was allegedly going to be a Ben Solo film about the hunt for Ben Solo, and that it was approved by Lucasfilm, not by Disney. Sorry, there's all of this is still, I think, for the purposes of just not spreading misinformation, alleged / hearsay, but that I'm not saying Adam Driver's lying, by the way. I believe it. I do believe, like, there was they had a full script and everything in the works, and then it got scrapped. It got shelved, canned, literally not to see the light of day. And so I think it's been long enough that he was finally able to just come out and like share the news about this, and it literally sent the fandom like a wildfire, like, because that is something collectively I think a lot of people would have liked to see. The campaign was definitely noticed by Disney, 1000%, Chopper. The whole point of this being it blew up to such crazy proportion. Like, it doesn't help, actually it does help. So like, props to Adam Driver, who is seemingly a very, like, he remains, like, he's out of the public eye, like, he seems to be a very private person and enjoys his peace and is non-confrontational or problematic in any way, shape, or form, from what I know. But power to him, because he definitely knew what he was doing. Like, he dropped that news, and it was perfectly timed, because it was like right before Visions came out. Like, we were in a lull, like we were in a dormant period within, there was no news cycle for Star Wars actively, and so that just absolutely was just like a juggernaut, the perfect storm. Danny, thank you. Bob Iger might be truly the Phantom Menace. I think it's unfortunately a good reminder that, like, major corporations are not our friend. They are not, like, the CEOs, all these people at the top of the chain of like, they're not our friends. You know, like, and not that we forget about that, but I think it was just, yes, they might not be our friends. They might not always have our best interest at heart, because of what do major corporations want? Money. But hopefully they saw from this the absolute outpouring of fan, like, demand for this, and the lengths that people went to. Sorry, I'm like moving like a puppeteer because I don't want to get too active with my nails, but the fan response to this, hopefully, I agree with you, Chopper, like, could not have gone unnoticed. And it's, you know, you have people out here saying, release the script, release the files. Like, no, keep that locked up, because that means there's still a chance. There is still, yeah, don't look at any Disney stocks after their AI shorts announcement. Wait, that's news to me, Fartigaz. You're kidding. God, that is news to me. AI shorts, are you kidding? Is that gonna go on Disney Plus? Don't actually, just do look at stocks, actually, because it's funny. Like, yeah, at the end of the day, like, Disney, I think this brought to light, keep calm, don't lose your cool. I'm trying, because it's a very frustrating situation when this was evidently, it just keeps bringing up the same repetitive questions of who is dictating, and how are they dictating, and what are the thought processes behind the projects that do see the light of day, that do get approved, the budget allocations, and the disparity between some of them. You know, not to beat a dead horse, but to just, I always go back to Kenobi. You know, why did that budget pale in comparison to other shows that weren't reviving and bringing back the literal legendary cast members of the prequels? Like, so yeah, that's just always an evergreen topic of who's actually making the decisions. And I think if there was one thing that we learned from this, which I never doubted, but, you know, I've always been I've always advocated for the fact that people go too hard on Kathleen Kennedy and just throw all the blame in her direction. But this scenario brought to light that she is not the enemy, because allegedly it was, this is all alleged. This is all, I don't know. This is all just, it might be for naught, because we may never see this movie. The Hunt for Ben Solo might never see the light of day. I hope that's not the case. I hope that this fan campaign can turn around their attention and like revive it somehow. But who's making the decisions and why are they in charge? Exactly, Chop. I feel like this brought to light the fact that Kathleen Kennedy is not the enemy. And that there are other, just, again, CEOs are not our friend, like, in any universe. So, but it, unfortunately, I think just keeps bringing to light this evergreen issue for, you know, Star Wars in the Disney era. Why are some decisions made? Why do some projects get to see the light of day? And why is something like that a Ben Solo film spearheaded by Adam Driver himself? Can we just appreciate, like, and I harp on this all the time, I feel like in Star Wars, you know, some actors are not afraid to make it very evident when they are tapped out and like hashtag done and want to move on to other things and don't want to be involved with the fandom, which, hey, that's fine and that's fair, because have y'all seen us as a fandom? Like, that is perfectly acceptable. But then you have people like Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor who have been very outspoken about how they want to come back and they love these roles and have ideas for their characters, yet they get not tossed to the wayside. They had their own show, but it was very disappointing to some people and did not have a budget that necessarily lived up to their legacy in this franchise and what they have done for Star Wars. Like, then you have somebody like Adam Driver, who here he is basically writing fan fiction about his character that is supposed to turn into a movie and then it gets shot down. It's like, why are we like relegating and sidelining some of the bigger actors that we should be grateful to have in our fandom? Like, Adam Driver has had an amazing career post. I had never actually seen any of his work. He was new to me in The Force Awakens. I'm not saying that was his big break, but that was just my first introduction to his work. He'd obviously been a working actor for far longer before that, but has had an amazing career since then. And to have someone like that who has achieved, like, you know, his filmography and the status that he has now and his talent, and to reject the notion of them coming back to Star Wars, like, it just, this was not meant to, I knew we were going to discuss The Hunt for Ben Solo, but this was not meant to turn into a Disney bashing session. But I think it really brought to light a necessary reminder that at the end of the day, it's a shame. It's like unfortunate that, you know, our favorite IPs are run by people who, like, it just makes you feel, but not powerless. I was gonna say, it makes us feel like powerless, but we're not as a fandom. Like, we can do this. We can make them, we can make this happen if we just keep it in the news cycle. Like, you had all of the major entertainment outlets covering this. It was literally breaking news. Like, again, shout out to Adam Driver. Like, not that he plotted that with any malicious intent, and I'm sure he, at the time when he like just dropped it, was very innocently just like, didn't even think that people were going to catch wind of this news, this revelation of what they took from us, what we could have had, what we can still have, y'all. I believe it. That's a fair point, Patrick. Studios want their own writers as opposed to fan fictions written by actors. Hey, fair. Very fair. And honestly, the direction that studios are taking now, like, we're at a crossroads. We're on the precipice of, I feel like, dare I say, like, we are at the last stage of, like, what I think we will look back on as the good old days of Hollywood, which, hey, we haven't even really necessarily been in that for a long time, because we have drifted so far from what I actually believe are the good old days, like practical effects, filming on location, you know, before green screens really replaced everything practical about filmmaking. And obviously the act of film production is expensive AF. So, like, that's obviously issue number one. Kat has been radicalized. Listen, all of this news in conjunction with the freaking AI I'm not even going to refer to her as an actress. I'm not even going to, that isn't it to me. That AI actor, that news that came out, just the general, divide and pivot, but the inevitable kind of acceptance that the film industry is going to embrace AI, and it's just a matter of who's going to get on board and when. Like, it's just a matter of time. Like, I feel like honestly we are at the tail end of what we will look back on as the good old days. Granted, like I said, I don't think we're in the good old days when it comes to filmmaking, because so many things aren't, like what Patrick is saying, my productions go as practical as much as possible. Like, that is not the headspace I feel like anymore. But hopefully there can be a pivot. Like, I feel like the demand is already sinking in with people are sick of green screens. People are sick of seeing like behind the scenes photos and there's not a real practical set in sight. And I do think the demand will be there. Exactly, film goer. Like, they have so many great talents on board that they completely wasted at this point. That's why when I watched the Mando and Grogu trailer, y'all, I was like, please don't waste Sigourney. Please, for the love of God. Exactly, Florida guys. Like, the Odyssey, is the only modern film I'm looking forward to, and that is sad. Well, hopefully Christopher Nolan, I feel like, will never bend the knee. Like, I feel like there will be a divide, and the majority of Hollywood, it's already happening. And it's a shame, because this is what people were striking against. Yet here we are literally only a year later, and we're already heading back down that rabbit hole. Simply, oh my gosh, Kat, yes, exactly. I'm still listening, but I'm painting and I'm talking out loud like you could hear me. I love that, Simply. Heck yes, I can hear you through the ether. I'm glad you're picking up what I'm putting down. Because it honestly, Christopher Nolan is on that. Yes, he's directing it. That's supposed to come out next year as well, is it? But I think, they were going viral, some of the behind the scenes, I think they were paparazzi shots of people, scoping out the set and whatnot, but like them filming on actual ships in the ocean, like filming on site, abroad, which is becoming more and more of a scarcity, just a rarity in actual like film production. And again, I know that films cost an exorbitant amount to make anymore, which is why we have now the demand for CGI and overworked CGI artists and animators and whatnot, who are, literally being worked to the bone with such impossible time constraints and still being expected to produce something that looks visually good. Hence why we're in the climate where we are now for modern filmmaking, which is just like, things don't look good anymore. Like, honestly, this happened during Reactober. Like, when we watched The Thing, I was like, this looks better than most films made today, and I wouldn't even want to see them remake this today, because it wouldn't live up. It almost feels like we've lost that standard of filmmaking is like unattainable now. Next year cinemas have one hell of a lineup. I think there is a pretty stacked, because I think Dune Messiah is going to come out next year as well. I think I just saw that. The Odyssey, Christopher Nolan's Odyssey, some other big, obviously Mandalorian and Grogu. Yes, Supergirl, The Odyssey, Spider-Man, Brand New Day all come out of summer next year. That's going to be a stacked summer, y'all. Agreed, Nolan uses a lot of practical effects, and I like how he continues doing so and limits CGI usage. Exactly. What's up there, Sal? Good to see you. But yes, I feel like, even though I have a very pessimistic view of this, especially having been, I'm not going to say in Hollywood, but having been an aspiring actor living in LA and seeing what the climate and just production tendencies are there, I think it's inevitable. What's up, Sean? Good to see you. It's inevitable that there is going to be a pivot, and you can already see this now, like in some of the, actor Facebook groups that I'm still a part of that are run by casting directors and whatnot. Like, they are promoting actively, like, listen, it's not a matter of sticking it to the man and not bending the knee to AI anymore. It's a matter of when you're going to get on board and start using it to your advantage, which I think is the headspace that most filmmakers are going to take. However, all of this is to say I have hope that I really do foresee a future where there will be entirely AI generated films. And listen, I as much as I hope to God this does not ever really become a thing, because it is just so antithetical to everything that I'm passionate about in life. But if these AI actors do become a real recurrence, because hey, you don't have to pay them, it's not real, it's not sentient, it doesn't have a conscience yet, until they all come back and take over, whenever that inevitably happens, hopefully far off in the future. But I do foresee, I've just kind of accepted, but I'm choosing to remain hopeful that yes, there is a future in which you can go to a theater, the AMC theaters, you can go to an AMC and watch an entirely AI generated film, but then on the wall of posters next to it, there will be hopefully still Christopher Nolan films, and they will actively say, like, filmed by real humans with real human actors. Like, I genuinely think that's going to become a disclaimer for art in general. This is not just relegated to film, just for the artistic world in general. Art, visual art, music. Is this happening to anybody else? I see this happening on Twitter all the time now. People reporting that they've been like, oh yeah, I discovered this band on Spotify, you know, through Shuffle or whatever, Smart Shuffle, listened to them for a couple weeks and then realized they were AI generated. Where are we living? What timeline is this? Like, huh? That's so bleak. It is a film goer. However, all of this is to say, I predict that we will have a future where it will become like a signifier of quality to see a disclaimer like made by a real human being, real human actors, real musicians. Like I really think that will help differentiate and become kind of like, this is only the first example that came to mind, and I don't think it's similar or necessarily even a perfect parallel to make, but y'all remember when that first craze happened in like the late 2000s, was that when people discovered like organic food is better than non-organic? I know that happened in my household. I came home from school one day and my parents were in the kitchen like throwing out all of our non-organic stuff and replacing it with like organic vegetables and stuff, because that was like a big craze. That has obviously since fizzled out, but it's still like a debate when it comes to quality. I think that's going to be similar, but more heightened, I think, when it comes to art in the future. So that's why I'm choosing to have hope, because it's like, I think it will be inevitable that there are going to be AI generated films and TV shows. And ultimately, I think if you're going to have AI actors, they're going to have to lump them in with each other. Don't subject a real human actor to that shiz. Keep those things. Like, genuinely, I have a horrifically judgmental opinion when it comes to that. Like, when I see people talking about Tilly Norwood, this AI generated actress, I don't even refer that isn't it to me. Like, we cannot refer to these things with humanization, otherwise like then it becomes normalized. Like, now I'll look at an animated character and I'll that like I don't know, animated characters to me have more life to them because they're voiced by a real human actor, a real human being. Like, hear me out, what if the AI actors sound like Clone Wars battle droids? Maybe they practically act like that. Have y'all seen some footage that I've seen other people in Hollywood like sampling AI actors and plugging in prompts for them to fake audition for, and they look bonkers, they look crazy. The upside to that is that AI is only a copycat. Exactly, Nick Gundy. Like, I think if anything, hopefully this will just foster a greater appreciation for the arts in general in the future. Yeah, what is this, Matthew? Major Fargas said the same thing. It's funny that you're talking about this because Disney Plus is flirting with creating all AI content. Not sure how I feel about that. What are these AI shorts that Major Fargas has informed us of? And listen, like, it's already freaking happening. Did anybody else see that god-awful, garbage, trash-looking Coca-Cola commercial on during one of the football games this weekend? Or was that on Monday Night Football? It looks horrific. It looks horrendous. Like, thank you so much, Matt's Tube of You. Sorry, y'all. I'm gonna lock back in. I wasn't expecting to rant about AI today, but I guess it's been weighing on my soul. AI is potentially a marvelous tool, but it's how it's being used that is causing damage. Exactly. Much how Napster, LimeWire, downloading, etc. has been used. It's taking all out of the hands of the artists. Exactly. Like, listen, I'm not anti-AI in general because I think... I mean, I don't know. I have such strong opinions, but I know that it can be used for purposes of, you know, scientific advancement, mathematical equations. Like, AI is proving my point that I was trying to make when I was a high schooler failing all of my math classes, which is that in the future I'm never going to have to really do mental math. Like, AI is doing a lot of heavy lifting in those fields and can be used to do more for human advancement and scientific development. But it's encroaching on the arts, I feel like, and in academic spaces. It's okay, we can all see where you're coming from. I'm just fueled up about this, y'all, especially when they dropped that fake actress. Like, call me awful, call me horrid. I don't even, that's not even, that's an it to me. And that's where I will remain and stand, because that is pixels. And like I said, animated characters have more life to them than that, because they are created and artistically designed by a real animator, a real human being, and voiced by a real actor. Exactly. Why can't AI do laundry or dishes? Why does it have to get involved in the arts? Exactly. Oh, I wish. I freaking wish. And I was previously, you know, as an artist who literally went back to school. Somebody asked forever. I think it was Brian. Sorry, I didn't answer at the time. I'm currently going for illustration. Yet another artistic impractical degree to just build upon my BFA in painting. But, you know, it's especially dismaying as an artist, because I feel like there's this sense of what's going to be the point. Like, I guess we're a jeopardized career field as well, even though I don't even think you could say we're a career field, because the stigma around arts is that you're just going to be broke and starving, the starving artist trope. But I'm choosing to still remain hopeful, and even if that means I have this kind of elitist view, which I'm not necessarily like proud of, but that's the stance I've chosen to have, which is like human art will always, I really do think it'll like be like a stamp of quality, like a seal of quality in the future to differentiate. I don't know, maybe when the day comes that I don't know, the Metropolitan Museum of Art hangs its first AI generated piece on its walls in their galleries, and then frick, maybe it'll all be for nothing. But hopefully it never comes to that. I'm so ready for the paint streams again, as am I, Chop. Yeah, sorry that I didn't fill y'all in. I had the goal to maybe stream some of my work that I was doing for my first project for school, but if I'm being entirely honest, I wasn't too proud of it. Can I be for real, y'all? It was actually this was a reality check for me to lock back in, because I was a star pupil, if I can say so myself, in my bachelor degree, because I was a tryhard and I had no life beyond my grades. And I gotta no, I don't want to get back into that mindset, but I need to tap back into a little bit of that, because this hit me like a ton of bricks, this first project coming back. So yeah, apologies that I didn't stream any of it, because I wasn't happy with it, but that's okay. And my professors were like, this is meant to be hard, so you're gonna be all right. But hopefully as I develop throughout the course. But I have other intentions too, because y'all, we have a whole studio now. I can actually paint again, like on an easel. So there's so many other, you know, obviously Star Wars inspired artworks and whatnot that I want to make, and commissions that I have in the queue that the commissioners have so kindly consented to me, you know, streaming them. So I think I want to lock back in, especially as the weather is getting colder. I want to hunker down and start doing some streams again, paint streams. So yes,
How is everybody faring? Because I feel like there's a crazy cold front happening. Is there not? I heard allegedly that it snowed. Charlie said it snowed in the Carolinas. Like, huh? Also, did any of you guys see the Northern Lights? Okay, I'm on one right now because holy frick, we just have so much to catch up on. I haven't seen you guys in forever. How many of y'all have gotten snow? And how many of y'all were able to see the Northern Lights? Because I know it was a select few kind of northern states, but allegedly Texas could see some of it. Had snow on Monday. My gosh. Is that normal for this time of year for you guys up in Chicago? You saw some last night. Holy crap, Nick Gundy. Oh my god, I'm so jealous. That's amazing. I saw the Northern Lights on Tuesday. That's incredible. Oh my god, I'm happy for you guys. Danny, thank you so very much again. Our #1 ranker. Let's get it. TBH, I think that art is human expression, so AI literally can't create it. Also, I would love to see more painting streams. Y'all have asked and I will deliver. I promise we will get back into them. Maybe even just next week. I need to get it up and running. Because those were so much fun for me and I felt so productive doing them. So I'm just grateful that you guys enjoyed them. Fear not, we're going to get back to it. It's raining here in Cali. Yeah, you guys are getting an atmospheric river right now. That's tragic. I just referred to you guys as if I wasn't. I used to be one of you guys. I'm salty. Of course, as soon as we move out of LA, that's when it's actually raining over there. And a friend of mine saw the Northern Lights a couple days ago. That's amazing. Georgia saw them. Yeah, what the frick? We randomly got snow in Atlanta on Monday after a 70-degree weekend. That would literally drive me insane. That's crazy. It snowed here a couple days ago, and then it's going to be 70 degrees here in 2 days. Like, what? The globe. We got flurries and it was overcast, so I couldn't see them if I wanted to. All rats. It's in the 60s this afternoon, but in the 30s or 40s at night there in Georgia. So everybody's having bonkers weather right now. Simply, you got to see them. Oh my gosh. Northern Lights and snow at the same time, simultaneous. Oh my god. How does it feel to be living my dream? That's incredible. Oh my gosh. I'm so happy to see that so many of y'all were able to witness them. Barely any snow, but still snow. Hey, I'm hoping I can finally get snow this year. I got a taste of it last year after coming home for the holidays because it snowed on the East Coast. It was actually a white Christmas last year, which was that was vibes. So now that I'm an East Coaster once again, I'm kind of hoping for it, but we will see. I say that with trepidations because I don't want to welcome all the snow and then it's going to be like 8 degrees and a foot of snow on the ground and freezing cold. Even though from what I've heard, everybody's been giving me a pep talk that it doesn't snow that heavily in DC. Brian, if you're still here, I don't know if you can corroborate that, but oh my gosh, I saw a picture of the Northern Lights as well. I'll send you a pic of it. Yes, please. Does it photograph well? Actually, yeah, because I saw other people like tweeting pictures of it and it looked sick. Send me your pictures, y'all, if you have them. Let me live vicariously through you. My area still might be able to see it tonight and I have no overcast this time. Okay. Also, welcome back to the East Coast. Thank you, Ben. Thank you. Alas, it does feel good to be back, but it has admittedly been a much harsher transition than I thought it was gonna be. I knew I was gonna miss LA, but I miss it more than I thought. And we've obviously gained colder weather. We've gained different weather. That has been nice though, having actual variation of weather and the changing of leaves and whatnot. We've gained more bugs because those were not a thing in LA. I'm hate to say it, I'm sorry, but I'm killing a bug like once a day out here. I'm killing bugs I've never even seen before. And I kind of forgot that DC is the swamp, so there's a lot of swampy bugs out here. East Coast, Beast Coast. Exactly, Fartigas. I believe that now because we have to put up with the elements. I became soft in LA. My blood went thin. I didn't have to think about this. I didn't have to fight the elements and fight bugs, spiders, oh god, centipede things. Y'all should have seen me. Literally like a household-sized version of one of those things that they sicked on Padme in Attack of the Clowns. Those big bug thingies that are there to go try to assassinate her. It is nice to have seasons, Jay. I have enjoyed that for autumn here because autumn is really non-existent anymore in LA. At least we lost it. It kind of gradually like diminished over the 5 years that we lived there. Used to have actual kind of fall weather for LA terms, and it just turned into like 100 degrees till October. What bugs am I killing? Well, I'm trying not. I've since learned I know you're not supposed to kill spiders because they help eat mosquitoes. The mosquitoes are not a problem anymore though, so I'm trying to learn to coexist with them. But we had admittedly had a little bit of a cricket problem when we first moved in, so that was new. LA had another season, right then. LA really didn't have seasons. It was just a variation of summer weather, either super hot or super cold for summer standards. I mean, it would get to like the 40 degrees Fahrenheit there. Just wait until the horrible humidity. Yeah, we kind of caught the tail end of that job when we first moved in, and I'm not prepared for my first full summer back. But like, this is where I was born. I was born and raised over in these conditions. I was literally like, when I was in college, especially in a city, I was in Philly, where there's wind tunnels and whatnot. You know, I was out there in the trenches in my parka, walking like practically horizontally, like parallel to the ground to fight the wind and the sleet and the rain and the tundra and all the chaotic conditions. So I just got to tap back into that because I just went soft in LA. I think it took a mere like less than 6 months, maybe, I think, for my bloodstream to acclimate and just get used to the warm weather over there. And you'll see it if y'all ever take a vacation to LA in some of the colder months. The people there are wearing parkas, wearing North Faces, and it'll be like 50 degrees out. So we're all just a bunch of softies out there. But I still stand by this. The desert cold is something else. Like that dry desert, it chills you to the bone in a different way. Like when we first moved here to DC, we were like, oh, it's so nice to be able to actually go outside after sundown because of the humidity still in the air. Like the air is thicker, so it would still be warm in the evening. It's not a thing in LA, unfortunately. What are these Jora spiders epidemic here, Florida guys? Jora spiders invaded through the Atlanta airport, and now they're literally everywhere in the southeast and east coast, and it's terrible. Is that like an invasive species? Like, do you have full fire at will instructions from your local government? Because that's how it is with the spotted lanternflies here. Excuse me. Sorry, spotted lanternflies. That have really actually rapidly like reproduced across the entire, I feel like, northeast and east coast. I feel like it started, I feel like Pennsylvania and New York were kind of like the epicenter for that, and that is just like kill on sight. Like there's literally you see posters that say like you have permission to kill these things because they're invasive. And they spread and just reproduce so quickly. So are you just out there killing all the Jora spiders? I feel like that's how we imagine our Queen Alice's life in Australia. We're always joking with Alice, like, you Australians are fighting off all these crazy species of bugs or snakes or lizards or kangaroos or whatnot. Yet here we are. We've got the Jora spiders. How scary looking are those? I don't have a phobia of spiders, so I'm gonna look it up. Oh. Yikes. That's huge. Oh my god. Yeah, they're definitely not supposed to be here. They are not native to here. Oh my god. Major Farting Ass is out there fighting for his life. Oh my goodness. I'm in New York, and yep, that's what I do. Oh my god, spotted lanternflies. I feel bad because I shouldn't be stomping on them with such joy, but like knowing that you're doing something for the ecosystem when you do it. Speaking of our queen, oh my gosh, good to see you. We've only been going for like less than an hour. It's good to see you, queen. Oh my gosh. Good to see you. I hope you're doing well. We were just talking about you because we're talking about invasive species and killing spiders and bugs and whatnot. And I was like, this reminds me of the way we joke about Alice in the land down under. Did I ever end up driving through Indiana? I don't think we did. Did maybe we were there for a split? Hang on, I gotta pull up a map. Listen, y'all, I have poor U.S. geography, so maybe we were briefly. Yeah, I think I gotta look at our route. Hang on. We might have driven through it, but not stopped. Yeah, we 1,000% had to because we were in. Oh yeah, we did. I'm. Listen, y'all. Smooth brain. Okay, I am not geographically blessed, and I said this in the vlog, and I'll say it again. If you had to take me back to 7th grade and put a map in front of me of all the United States all blank, and I had to fill in the names, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Does that make me a failed citizen? Perhaps. But we did because we had to go from Chicago to Ohio when we went to Cedar Point. So we did drive through. Rats, I didn't know you were there, Chop. It seemed nice from the drive. It's 7:30 a.m. Holy shnikes, we're catching Alice for the breakfast stream here. Let's go. Yes, we did. McBot's coming in to confirm. There's literally nothing worth anything here. Don't say that, Chop. Do not say that. I have family in Indianapolis. It's dreadful. Y'all, I firmly believe now. Gotta head out. Thank you, Sal, for tuning in. It was so good to see you, and I hope you've been doing well. I hope life has been treating you good. If there's one thing I took away from our road trip across the country, every state has a little something. Every state has its own little slice of life, little something that it can offer. That's right, it was thunderstorming like crazy when we were in Indiana. That's right, that's right. What is the art behind you? These are all original pieces of mine. We got Anakin, we got Acolyte representation. That really pisses people off. I love when people who are new to my channel come, and this has been promoted, because this actually used to not be hanging at all, I don't think, in our old setup. So this got promoted to front row screen time. And so I love when people come to the channel and immediately see that and feel the need to leave a comment like, you have no taste. It's like, okay. Brian, thank you so much. Gotta go, but hope to show you and Tom around DC. Welcome. Thank you so much, Brian. Yes, we still have much exploring to do. Because Tom did live here for the year prior to us relocating to Los Angeles, but what the frick was I was gonna say? That year was 2020. So y'all can imagine how much explorations were not going down during that. No, we did not go through Arizona. Somebody asked about that. We didn't, but I have been there and I enjoy it. I like Arizona. Oh no. Frick. Sorry. Messed up my nails. It was bound to happen. I'll repaint over that one. Here I was thinking painting my nails while streaming would be a good idea because I am less likely to jeopardize it. Okay, saved it. Saved by the bell. Hallelujah. But I get too animated with y'all. I'm just too excited. I feel like I'm having a reunion with my friends. I haven't seen you guys. It's so dang long. What's been the highlight of everybody's fall so far? September through November. I haven't seen y'all live in like 3 months' time. What's been a highlight? Everybody share something good that has happened to you that has restored your faith in this world or something, because there's so much in news cycles as of late that is not hopeful or optimistic. But I'm sure everybody here has had something good happen to them. I hope, even if it's something small. Do share your achievements. Finishing the last layer of these nails here, and then we're gonna let them marinate and dry for the remainder of this. So I promise that y'all will have my full undivided attention as of now. I have not painted Manny Jacinto yet, but you know what? That would be a good one, Biscuits. That would be a good one. Oh, y'all. I am the dumbest person alive. Oh, God. It's fine, I can save this. Alright, note to self, never paint nails whilst streaming again. Oh, this just got absolutely botched. We can save it, we can save it, we can save it, we can save it. So... I saved it, I saved it, I saved it, I saved it. Oh my god. I kind of saved it. S-A-V-E-D-B-Y the bell. S. Okay, alright. I'm gonna sculpt that for a second and pretend I know what I'm doing. Yo, that actually looks... That looked a lot worse 2 seconds ago. It still does, but you know what? Just let it sit. Just let it sit and don't move. Just let it sit and don't move. Okay, now I'm done. Do we get to see any of your artwork from school? I hopefully will be posting some of it, Alice. Not this first round of projects, because I really wasn't... I wasn't happy with it, but hopefully my professors are. And that's all I can ask for. I'm waiting to get my assessment back. My marks, as they say. Not my grades, because I'm taking... I'm taking classes remotely through a UK program, y'all, because all roads lead back to the United Kingdom. So they refer to it, if there's any UK or European folks here, isn't it like top marks? If you get good grades, you have top marks or something like that. So I'm waiting to get my marks back. Jerry, what is up? Member for 41 months. Good to see you. I hope you will be on when I get home. I'm in the hospital. Oh my gosh, and I'm getting discharged. I broke my ankle on Tuesday and had surgery yesterday. Holy smokes, Jerry. Oh my gosh. I hope it went well, your procedure, and I hope you're feeling better. Oh my gosh, glad to hear that you're being discharged. I feel like that's a quick turnaround, but oh my gosh. Yes, I am hoping for the smoothest possible recovery. Definitely go and take it easy this weekend, and hopefully you can get some much needed just relaxation and recovery. My gosh. Yes, we say marks too, says Salis. Okay, good to know, good to know. All right, let me back it up here. See if everyone's sharing some good news. Got hired for 2 shorts and a television show. Let's get it, Patrick. Fricky, yes. I found a home church and a second job. Lowdown, that is amazing. Restored faith in the world? I don't know about that, but I spent most of October doing Halloween activities, which was a blast, and the post-October depression has hit me hard. I'm in the same boat, Chopper. I've become more of a little October nerd as I've gotten older. Like, for some reason... I maybe didn't appreciate it that much when I was younger, but I really like October now. But you know what? I'm trying to phase into, like, I don't know, autumn vibes / like, I don't know. I feel like November is a good month to watch, like, period pieces or historical films or do, like, a Lord of the Rings rewatch or stuff like that. So I'm keeping up the kind of the gothic vibes, if you will, the vampiric vibes. That's what our loading screen was. It's our background right now, but our loading screen there, I had that's Castle Dracula from the 1992 film, which I watched recently, to keep those vibes up. Like, I feel like it's still gothic, it's still a vampiric, it's still a monstrous time. We have Frankenstein out, that's trending right now, so the vibes are still there. I turned 33 in September and met fellow mod Charlie. Oh, that's right. Oh my gosh, worlds colliding. That's so exciting, Sean. Alice says, it's spring here and I've enjoyed some really nice hot days and walks in the rain. That's amazing. Oh my gosh. That's right. You guys are reverse. We're all about to enter our dormant cold hibernation months, and you guys are going to be living your best sunny lives. Ooh, awesome, Jay. Getting my website another step closer to opening. Heck yes. Met and got a script signed by Michael Rosenbaum. Let's go. My year highlight, definitely seeing Hayden in Brussels. Yes, and you in London and getting photos with them. I still can't get over this. That is a year highlight, Colin. I still have like visceral flashbacks all the time to Celebration Japan thinking about that. That is so exciting. Simply says, finishing up this semester in college. I'm trying to decide if I want to go to cosmetology school. Okay, Simply. Look at you. You have that in you because you've got that artistic trait. I feel like you would do amazing at that. Matthew says, sanity got restored to where I hang my hat when a narcissist ex-roommate finally got the boot from our place. He was sabotaging everyone and everything and was, oh my gosh, he is not living his best life. Well, I'm glad he's no longer dragging you down, Matthew. That is I didn't know you were going through a situation like that. That sounds harrowing. I am glad to hear, though, that it has been remedied and that you are hopefully liberated from that. My gosh. Tony says, I met Giancarlo Esposito, no way, at Baltimore Comic Con last month. It was my second time doing so. He was pretty great. He seems like an amazing person IRL. I don't know if you can confirm that. I have literally nothing to go off of other than his vibes, but he seems like just an incredibly cool person. What is our favorite Star Wars movie, asks Hayden. Attack of the Clones. A lot of people don't like that answer, but I miss October, but there's always what? Oh, the Krampus knocked. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Krampus knocked to look forward to. I'm assuming that has something to do with the Christmas time holidays, OJ. Oh my goodness. Jared, what is up? Good to see you. Hope things are going good for you and Tom over on the other coast. I know, I'm so far away from all of you now on the West Coast, my friends, my neighbors. It's all right. I will inevitably return. There I was thinking I was going to go back in October for Sleep Token, and that didn't happen. So I'm a little bit salty about that because I really was like, you know what, moving out of LA is going to be fine because I'm going to come back a month later, and that didn't happen. But eventually, the Lucas Narrative Museum is opening up next year, and then we got Celebration there in 27. The World Cup, we are hopefully going to try to get tickets to the LA games there next year. So there's a lot happening in Los Angeles in the coming years. So we will be back. Go Birds indeed, Irv. Let's freaking get it. That was an excruciating Monday night game, but at least we squeaked it out. Oh my goodness. Ben says, my good news is that my Krampus costume and new projective padding came in, so Christmas, aka Halloween 2.0, is preparing to pop off. Let's get it. Exciting things all around. Let's get it, y'all. We're gonna end the year on a high note, which is crazy. Like, hey, where the frick did November go? I've got to go drive somewhere, so if I don't respond, it's because I'm driving. Yes, be safe, simply. Be safe. Yes! Oh my gosh, y'all, we're about to be blessed again with some more chop editing. You'll be happy to hear that I've officially started editing my new Star Wars Edit final project. And I'm already getting sucked into it, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I'm living vicariously through this chopper. I can't freaking wait. Chop's about to grace us all once again. I'm so freaking excited, especially to see your progress after a semester, you know, in film school and whatnot. I'm not saying, listen, your editing already has blown my mind. And like for that, just I imagine that's like your self-taught style already. Like, you're already rocking with a lot in the chamber, so I'm just very excited to see like how you've been able to amplify and see if you incorporate any new things that you've learned. Speaking as somebody who doesn't really know how to edit anything at all, so I don't know any terminology or whatnot, but I'm so excited for that. Everyone is living their life. Exactly, Alice. PC building just got delayed to tomorrow. Boo, but that's step one to the Fartigaz YouTube channel. Oh, come on, PC. You're building your PC. Or like a setup. I'm technologically challenged in that regard too. So like, power to you, Fartigaz. That's exciting. What is the Ben Solo stuff? $1 million question, Jalen. Hopefully we'll be learning about it when it actually gets announced as an official movie, because they can't beat around the bush and avoid the fact that the fan demand for it is massive. But I don't know. The hopes that one day there could be a Ben Solo film. Ooh, interesting. I've thought about doing animation / graphic design too. Heck yes, simply. I've got to decide. That is the toughest part in college, deciding what route you want to go down. I low-key thought I was going to double major at one point because I couldn't make up my mind, and then I was like, that is too much work. That is too much work. Ooh, that's right, Colin. Seeing Ewan in a theatrical play in London was so different and better than a short photo op at a Comic-Con. He's such a great actor. That's got to be a really cool experience, seeing some of your favorite film performers do stage acting, because it's so much more intimate and it's real. It's in the flesh in real time, obviously. So that has got to be a really unique experience. Is eggnog just egg yolk with sugar whipped up? I'd like to try the real version that you guys make. To tell you the truth, Alice, I try not to think about it because I didn't know eggnog contained like raw egg, doesn't it? And I was drinking it for you. I just thought it was like really sweet milk. I thought it was just like horchata. It is not. And so I've tried not to think about that because I like eggnog. What is in eggnog? Made from eggs, milk, or cream and sugar, often spiced with nutmeg. Ooh, you can also include alcohol if you want to get spicy with it. Raw eggs are traditional. Okay, thank God, though many modern recipes use pasteurized eggs for safety. I hope so. Some recipes separate the eggs, whipping the whites for a frothy texture. Yeah, that's why it's like, okay, I have a double standard. I have to get over the ick factor there. Because when we first moved to LA, we were going to like, I swear this relates, Mexican food is like our favorite cuisine, and it's poppin' in Los Angeles. It's like the best possible place to get it. So when we would go and get like margaritas, like Tom learned from the bartenders out there that they use egg yolks like that, like froth up like egg whites, actually, rather, to create like this foamy layer on the top of a lot of margarita recipes, which was news to me, but I was drinking them either way. So if I can do that, I can do eggnog, but it's just a mental thing for me. Apparently the Lucas Museum is opening on your birthday, Sean. Oh, that's hype. That is hype. Oh wait, Chopper, I have to go do recon. You gave a very small and vague hint to the subject of your new edit on Twitter for folks to speculate. Oh, I shall go and speculate. I shall. Sorry, I'm catching up. I didn't play any scary games, Jared. I gotta get into it because there I was saying I was gonna do Alien Isolation, and then I just didn't. I realized I was like, maybe I should spread the wealth here because I don't think I could do the horror films and the scary games simultaneously. Like, that might have been a lot for my psyche. Can I be real though, y'all? Like, this round of Reactober was nowhere near as scarring as our first round, because last year 2024 was my real true first experience with a lot of actual genuine horror content, and that left a lasting mark on me, versus I feel like this year it wasn't as there I was gonna say it wasn't as bad, but the last one we watched, As Above So Below, that took me out of it, and I just couldn't keep going. I literally was burnt out. So maybe I'm about to just lie through my teeth, but it wasn't that bad this year. It wasn't that bad. I almost forgot that I logged off. I almost forgot as I logged off. The animated Avatar. That's right, Sal. I think I saw, isn't it an Aang movie? Also comes out next year too. Anyway, I just wanted to bring that up. Well, that's the best possible news. That's right. I just saw that as well. Y'all, we're gonna eat good. We are eating good next year. I'm so freaking hype. Ben Solo, speaking of, oh my gosh, celebrity of the day. I am so glad to hear that you are alive and that Han and Leia are alive and well and married for 32 long years together. They are up in here, up in my head canon, Ben Solo. I hope we get your movie soon, my friend. Chi-Town, good to see you. Just got the notice. Yes, we're doing a very long overdue mega stream today to catch up. It's been so freaking long. Ruff, what is up? Good to see you. Dead Space is a good scary game, says 3. And Ricky Moran says, if you want scary games to play, then try that. Oh my, Ricky! Just gave me a little bit of PTSD because we played Outlast a couple years ago, and that was one of the most horrific things I've ever done. Oh my god, that game was so terrifying. I'm also embarrassed as heck because that playthrough took me like I had to do that in 4 days time, streaming upwards of like 6 hours for some of them, I feel like. And then I would go and watch other people's playthroughs for hints, low-key, because I was so stuck at times, and they played the whole thing in like a matter of 6 hours, whereas I was putting y'all through the ringer with me. That was the trenches, and I didn't even know it. I was subjecting you guys to that must have been torturous on your end, because we were playing that first game for days, and I wanted to quit so badly, but I was mentally still stuck in there. I had to finish, but I'm really bad at that game. But dare I say, I've had a hankering to go at it again because there's like several iterations of that game. Are there not? So I feel like I want to try again. It's been long enough. But that gave me some of the biggest scares of my life. And I genuinely believe that the first Outlast game took like 5 years off of my life expectancy. Which is okay, which is fine. But Christmas movies, indeed. I shied down, indeed. I had to lighten the load after Reactober. So there was a little preview. We're still gonna there's still some remaining scary movies that I want to watch, but I feel like the ones that I have in my queue, as I said, are ones that I want to watch anyway on the channel. Sinners, 28 Years Later. Thank you, Thorak. Loved your Andor reactions. I missed doing them. That was like the peak of this year, y'all. That was such a fun time. Thank you for tuning into them. Oh, life was so good when Andor was out. So I want to do those. I still promised the Reactorverse on his campaign to get reactors to check out this film Deadstream, which I believe is about a YouTuber like vlogging in a haunted scenario or something like that. So I want to check that out. I promised him I would do it this year, so I have to do that. And then in the queue, I still have to do Superman. I think I want to do The Mummy now. What else did I have in store for this month? I think the two biggest ones that were in theaters that I knew I wanted to watch were 28 Years Later and Superman. And then I guess the rest is fair game. I've heard those Silent Hill games are scary, Matthew. I've heard that those are rough. If you don't want to play the Outlast games, forget that I ever mentioned it. Oh, I can never forget Ricky. I'll never forget that experience. That first game was crazy. Superman and The Mummy back to back. You're gonna be eating good. I know. I'm so excited for those. Superman is so long overdue. Like, it's embarrassing. I'm so out of the cultural lexicon there, out of the loop. I started watching Frankenstein the other day. I need to finish it. I liked it. I think it was visually gorgeous. It was just very, yeah, maybe my aversions were that Oscar Isaac is such a likable person to me. Like, granted, I always tell y'all, I always try to preach and say, like, never put anybody on a pedestal, especially celebrities. Like, we don't know who they are in real life, but like, I put him, he's in the same category for me as like Pedro Pascal. Like, they can do no wrong, you know. So I just feel like their public persona, again, it's a persona, it's who they present as outwardly. They seem like just good people in general. And so Oscar Isaac to me is so likable. So seeing him in this role, I almost kind of had like a mental blockage. It was hard for me to watch and accept that he was doing some of these things. Like, my suspension of disbelief was not kicking in because I perceive him to be a good person. So that was hard for me to kind of like shake that. But I still enjoyed it, and I thought, I think overall it was very beautifully done. Young Frankenstein, that movie is not on any freaking streaming platforms right now, Chi-Town. That is like an obligatory, my Octobers are not complete until I have watched that movie, but they've taken it off of streaming. I met Oscar once, and a mutual has met him 3 times. Can confirm that he's great. Thank you, Ven. I assumed that wasn't just my headcanon, that he's a good person, but I'm happy to hear confirmation from those of y'all who have met him in the flesh. He just seems like it. He exudes that energy. Same with Pedro Pascal. Like, they And I think that they're friends IRL, I think, for a reason. So, so yeah, it was just hard to kind of wrap my head around his behavior in that separate the art from the artist. I had to just go back and I do think I want to rewatch it, especially now that I know the structure and whatnot. Am I into fantasy content? Frick yes. The animated shows The Legend of Vox Machina and the upcoming Mighty Nine are great if you like fantasy. Similar animation to Avatar and Korra. I do want to get into, I have to pick a new animated series to watch, because I tried to have, we did Korra, and then after that I dabbled with doing Arcane. I've gotten a lot of requests for. So I think that's in the sci-fi realm, though, more so than fantasy. There's a lot of animated shows out there right now that are popping off that I would like to watch. So, and I never did freaking watch the animated. I'm a fake Lord of the Rings fan too, I guess. I never watched that animated Rohirrim film that came out literally like last year. So, Cyberpunk 2077. I'm very much not informed in the cyberpunk world. I have to get in on that. That's right, Alice. Oscar just came out and took a stand and said that he doesn't want to do any other projects with Disney. I did not think, though, that would hinder Moon Knight. Frick. Y'all, I was just reminiscing about how season 1 of Moon Knight, I want to rewatch it, and it was really scary for like no reason. I remember watching that with my friend Kyle, who was here earlier in the chat, because he was in LA to shooting a project. I met him through, he's an actor friend, and we watched one of those episodes together where he's like in the pyramids and all of these the kind of mummy monster things are coming out. It's been too long, so I'm not representing this correctly, but I remember we looked at each other, we were like, this is really terrifying. Like, why is this actually genuinely scary? What is going on? So I want to rewatch it. That show was really good. And I feel like a lot of people slept on it, or did the viewership drop off? But it got confirmed for a second season. So I'm not, right? Didn't it? But that is a good point, Alice. I had seen Oscar's statement in regards to, because I saw people chirping if he would ever return to Star Wars, and he pointed out, about his moral compass and whatnot. And for the time being, that would not necessarily, he wouldn't necessarily seek that out, but I didn't think that applied to Moon Knight too, so frick. But weren't they filming that? I thought they had filmed it. Maybe not. He's been booked and busy, so maybe that's why I'm just getting it mixed up. But yeah, that would be a shame, because that show was good. That show was very good. I would like to rewatch it. But yeah, good for him for taking a stand. Like I said, that's why I'm like, I feel like my assumption that he's a good person is not misplaced, and that he actually lives up to it. They never did film it. Okay, rat. No, it hasn't even begun. Oh, frick. Which means at this point, I guess it's never going to happen. They do need to get their shiz together then, Shop. You're right. Oh my gosh. That is a shame. Especially because I feel like it was such a good standout recent, Marvel production in a time when Marvel needs it. I've just dropped off. Yeah, it ended on a cliffhanger. It did. Dang. I think it'll be a while, if ever. I'm starting to doubt whether that will ever actually come to fruition now, because yeah, the just hot water. Oh, hello. Unless they replace him, which I hope they don't do. I hope they don't do that. Yeah, I can't fault Oscar Isaac. I totally support his statements and do not fault him for that. It's just a shame. That show is so darn good. Like I said, in a time when I feel like that got me excited about Marvel again, and I guess now it's not going to come to fruition, but alas. It gives me hope, though. I don't know. I'm curious, y'all. What do we think is gonna go down now that I finally watched the Mandalorian and Grogu trailer? Now that we're on the similar subject of Marvel, Do we think Star Wars is kind of have the same, not fate per se, but at least with The Mandalorian and Grogu in terms of the shows, it being a spin-off, and now there's necessary viewing and you have to kind of go do your homework. Peace out, Colin. It was so good to see you. It's so much fun being back in the live. I agree. It was so much fun. Guten Abend. Yes, Dankeschön, my friend. Have a great evening. I've been telling people that after season 1 ended, I would love Moon Knight 1.5, like they did with The Lion King. It could be a series where the third alter ego is just watching the shits happen. That's actually hilarious, man. That would actually be really clever. I think if you know when Grogu flops, oh no! I hope not. It is admittedly troubling when I went to go watch. Oh, hey. It is admittedly troubling when I went to watch the trailer today that it has yet to even hit 10 million views. Okay, hang on. Sorry. Thanks, John. Sorry. Okay. The trailer itself. This is why. Okay, I'm gonna unleash a little bit here. What was I saying? Okay, the Mandalorian and Grogu trailer. When I had gone to view it today for our reaction. Peace out, Ricky. Thank you so much for being here. I'll let you know when if and when we get to Outlast part 2. I admittedly am a little bit concerned that the official trailer is not has not yet hit 10 million views. Whereas, didn't Kenobi hit that in like the first day? I forget. That trailer, for science purposes, how much does the Kenobi, how many views does the Kenobi trailer have? 13.4 million. That feels low, but like still. And I feel like it clocked those numbers pretty. Half of those views are from me. It clocked those numbers pretty rapidly, I feel like. And so for Mandalorian and Grogu, that's concerning that the viewership is low for the first official trailer, but I'm just gonna say it. We can't operate like this is just another Disney Plus show. Like, I understand. Actually, I don't understand. I don't. You guys know this. I've said this before. Please, please. I don't mean this from a bad place. I mean this from a place of care. This is a genuine criticism where I'm offering a constructive criticism to Disney, because I just feel like the marketing is not there. It's not on par. Like, they rely too much on ambiguity and these vague trailers that don't reveal anything. Which is fine enough if you've already accumulated like a built-in audience. Like Mandalorian, the series, at this point you can get away with ambiguous trailers, and I enjoy it in that sense because those trailers tend to have only maybe the first 3 episodes worth of content, you know, spliced into the clips. And then the remainder of the season is kind of like a really great surprise. You know, there's nothing more than I hate than a spoilery trailer, but Star Wars is so far from that realm, they don't have to worry about that. I think right now our concern is their trailers don't reveal enough. So like I'm saying, this is fine in a Disney Plus context where it's like, I'm going to be watching either way. We know The Mandalorian, like, you kind of know what to expect at that point. So yeah, like if this was a trailer for season 4 of the show, then I can understand the ambiguity, because I'll be watching no matter what, and we already kind of they have the luxury of, there's not much more to establish beyond the characters and the world building, or the conflict per se. But this is different. I didn't think this was gonna be the same. Like, I honestly went into this trailer expecting it to be more in tune with other film trailers that reveal a little bit more, because you have to, appeal to the general audience. Like, this is not just for Disney Plus viewership anymore. And like, I know that there's niche of Disney Plus subscribers. It's like, I'll watch whatever, you know, that's Star Wars puts out. Whereas, you know, we have siblings who are diehard Star Wars fans, but haven't watched all of the Disney Plus material. You know, like there is a spectrum there. And you can't rely on this trailer felt like it was for the fans who are just like already built in, like, yeah, I'm gonna watch it because I love Mandalorian. But you can't we can't this is our first theatrical release in a hot freaking minute. Like exactly, Hayden. Like sometimes the trailers don't feel as real as I hope it would be. Like that does not look like a trailer that you would go, has this happened to anybody else either? Like I saw somebody tweet this and I was like, that's a really great point. I saw somebody tweet that they've been going to see movies in theaters and have yet to see the Mandalorian and Grogu trailer in all the pre-roll with other trailers and commercials and whatnot. And I just feel like it doesn't even feel like it could function in that setting. Like, and actually, if nobody had watched The Mandalorian, maybe that's the biggest crux of this. If somebody watching that trailer had not watched The Mandalorian, I do not think this first official trailer for The Mandalorian and Grogu is doing anything to attract them, because it's relying solely on the fact that we already understand who these characters are, their relationship, but there is still no allusion to what's the conflict, who's the overarching, who or what is the antagonist, where is this even in the Star Wars timeline? Like, if this was just to be shown to a layperson who is actively interested in Star Wars but doesn't watch the shows, what could they glean from that trailer? This sounds like I'm ripping it to shreds. I'm not. I swear. This is coming from a place of I don't want this movie to flop. This cannot, like literally we cannot afford that right now, because we have been in literal feature film theatrical purgatory with Star Wars. To a point, it feels like we're in freaking molasses. Like, we are just never getting... Everything is always on either being shelved, or being teased, or being rumored, or allegedly this big director is getting a 3-film deal. This people are getting a trilogy. Oh, never mind. Game of Thrones trilogy is not happening. Rian Johnson trilogy. Why are we one of the biggest franchises, freaking IPs, now run by one of the biggest corporations? Like, one of the most monopolizing corporations, and we can't get a movie in theater? Like, huh? It makes me feel like I'm insane. It makes me feel like that's a big ask. That is not a big ask, in my opinion. In the current era of Star Wars that we are in, to be able to go back to theaters. So I feel like we can't afford for this to flop. Like, I really genuinely hope it doesn't. But right now, that first trailer, even if that was meant to just be, I don't think it wasn't even advertised as a teaser. It's listed as official trailer on the Star Wars YouTube page, no? Because, yeah, that's how it feels like. It's more of a teaser right now. But I just feel like we can't be thinking from the perspective of, oh, we'll just bank on the fact that everybody has watched this show. Like, this was not a trailer. Yeah, The Mandalorian and Grogu official trailer. I'm sure we are going to get other ones. I'm sure there will be a final trailer or whatnot as we inch closer. But if you were to show this to anybody who has never seen the show, hasn't ever even logged on or subscribed to a Disney Plus account, like, there's nothing they could take from that other than they probably recognize Grogu from just the cultural zeitgeist because he's everywhere. But people don't even associate him as Grogu, depending on how far they're, how far they are into the show, how invested they are. Some people, he's still Baby Yoda, I feel like, culturally, to a lot of people. A lot of people are probably like, who's Grogu? Like, I feel like there's not much as a trailer. Like, it appeals to me. I loved it. I really feel excited about the OG trilogy vibes and whatnot. Like, I feel really hopeful about the kind of, it looks like it's expanding on the world building that The Mandalorian has already established. I just feel like yeah, I benefit from having watched all the whole show, but even for me, that trailer still revealed nothing. Like, I just and I just feel like it's okay to do that for the shows on Disney Plus. And listen, I complain about this. I nitpick about this. And then in hindsight, more often than not, I turn around and have some gratitude that the initial trailers are never that revealing. Like I said, usually The Mandalorian, the trailers only ever show kind of like the first 3 episodes worth of content, and then everything else from there is a mystery. So it sets you up for this nice kind of surprise, and then you can just kind of enjoy the season. Like, Jesus, take the wheel, see what happens from there, because we've seen all the trailer content, and it's like, holy shnikes, we still have the rest of the season to go, so what the frick is going to happen next? So more often than not, yes, here I am complaining, but then in hindsight, it's like, you know what, I appreciate that the trailers are vague and ambiguous and not too revealing. I just don't think we have that luxury here when we're trying. This is our first movie back in theaters for start. Like, I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't be so worked up like this, because this was kind of, the Solo didn't get similar treatment, but maybe in a way it did. Like, when that film was announced, I was among the camp of people being like, who asked for this? Like, peace, love, Han, but y'all just killed him off in The Force Awakens, so like, what is the purpose of this? But then it turned out to be great, but I think it just suffered from lack of advertising and lack of, you can't just rely on this legacy character. Like, to a point, you need to give me some context. Like, what's the conflict? Just give me any semblance of a plot, and I'll be the first to admit that trailers overdo it. There is overkill in trailers nowadays, and they freaking give away the whole movie. Like, especially trailers released in theaters anymore, I feel like it's like that was the whole movie in 3 minutes. So I think people just need to stop carrying expectations. You might be right. You might be right. I am one of them. I'm gonna catch up because I just ranted for a little bit. But that's how I feel. It's coming, listen, it's coming from a place of care. I don't want this to flop. And sure, that might sound like, well, what do you care how it performs to the general public and the box office? Y'all, we are living in a box office crisis right now. Everything is considered a flop anymore. But the last thing we need is for, as somebody who loves and wants to see Star Wars thrive and grow, and I don't know, be successful and do well, since we're kind of, I don't know, it's come and gone in waves, and we've had good and bad periods, but God forbid that, like, I care so much because it's like we've been in this purgatory for this long, and we don't need the same thing playing out that happened with Solo, which is, it was poorly advertised, kind of came off of the heels of, okay, poor timing, you could argue, with the public reception to the sequels and whatnot. Public interest was low, but the poor advertisement, the lack thereof, rather, the lack of advertising and the kind of just dependence on, oh, this is a legacy character that people will return for, all of that kind of, it didn't help the situation. And then look what happened. Like, that was supposed to be a trilogy, allegedly, and then that got shot. Where is it? And again, back to the same point. We've wasted Alden Ehrenreich. Can I just say, I did not know his game. Solo was my first time seeing his work. I had not watched any of his prior filmography before that movie. And now his career, he is an artist. I can't believe we even got him in Star Wars to begin with. He is generational, if you ask me. And it's so amazing because I follow him on Instagram. Like, I try to keep up with what he does, and he like refurbished this local, you know, historic theater in Los Angeles and puts on affordable local shows. Like, he is dedicating his life to the arts, and it's clear he goes and just makes what films he wants. Like, his range, he can do Cocaine Bear, and then I just saw him in Weapons, so that's why I'm raving about him, because that was a crazy role to see him in that film. He was in that Peacock original series Brave New World, which I don't even know if that's accessible anymore because it came out, was that on Peacock? And listen, it deviated severely from the actual like book content. Yeah, you can only get it with a subscription. But it's like, does anybody subscribe to Peacock? It's a shame because it was like free. It was available for free for like the first like 3 weeks when Peacock launched. All of this is to say, Alden Ehrenreich, oh my God, he was in that movie with Phoebe Denever, Fair Play. He is genuinely just, I will fangirl about few people, because here I am saying, don't put anybody on a pedestal. I'll put Alden Ehrenreich up there. I'll make an exception for him. Fair Play. Oh my God, that movie was freaking phenomenal. His range, oh, and he was in Oppenheimer. He's cleaning up. And we wasted him. We wasted Alden Ehrenreich. Like, what? Genuinely, it boiled my blood. It boiled my blood. Oh my God, we had an artist. Like, he is an artist to his core. Like, you can tell that he's not just in it for like, I think he rejects that because like he's not like really in the public eye. Like, he loves doing live theater. Like, he does live theater and these big films and films like Cocaine Bear, like indie projects. Like, I can't believe we had him and we lost him. So that's all I'm saying is like, that was the last kind of example of poor. I really think Solo suffered from there was a whole lot going on there. There was so much nuance to that. But it didn't help that there was very little to no advertisements. All right. End scene. Let me dial it back a little bit. Whoa, it's a stream. It's foggy. You can tell we've tapped in. We're locked back in now. We are tapped back in. I haven't vented in a long time, and there we go. Back to Mandalorian and Grogu. Ty confirms that, yeah, I really am going to keep my expectations low. Listen, that's why it took me so long to watch the trailer, because I felt like I had to kind of just squash a little bit of my preconceived notions right now that are weighing me down, but I'm fearful that it's going to be, true, that it's going to just kind of be an extension of the series. I don't know. I agree so much, Trent Rushton. Excuse me. I don't mind the other stories from the Star Wars universe. Just let go of the original characters and let them rest already. Let the past die. I agree, and the biggest proof of this is Star Wars Visions, which I will advocate for, even though I haven't watched season 3 yet. I'm freaking excited to, though. Visions genuinely is slept on. I'm guilty of that. I'm part of that camp, but I think it's so underrated and it's criminally slept on, and it's a shame because those stories are 15 minutes long and some of them are more captivating and just creative, and the original ideas that they're able to conjure that still operate within the realm of Star Wars but can sprinkle in something completely different, but it still feels like Star Wars. Like, that just goes to show what happens when you give it to a plethora of filmmakers and artists and animation studios to play with. Like, when you let people just play with Star Wars, and maybe they have that much creative freedom because they still Visions is, I don't know, perceived to be low stakes. It's non-canonical, correct? So like, maybe they've just, and that's why they're so liberal with, like, I think it's amazing that they expand it, and so far each season they've expanded it to different animation studios globally, internationally. But look at what happens when you let people from all over the world tell a 15-minute Star Wars story. Some of these, I'm so glad some of them are getting expanded upon, thankfully, because they deserve that. They deserve to be continued, but it's just like, all of this is to say, to go back to what you were saying, Trent, none of them have anything to do. They're all completely new characters, completely new stories, and I grow so attached to some of them within the span of 15 minutes. Like, I can get so emotionally invested in some of those characters and Visions. And it's a testament to, like, we're clearly capable of, if in the right hands, telling a different Star Wars story with completely original characters. Welcome back, Simply. Good to see you again. All right. I went on a huge Alden Ehrenreich. Visions is actually peak Star Wars. Exactly. Do you think you would do a month, any month, and make it sci-fi reaction month? I should, Alice, and I think I mainly want to do that after you guys put me on to Event Horizon. That was like peak sci-fi. That was crazy. That was a wild ride. So I definitely am in a sci-fi mood after that. What's up, Zach? Good to see you. Thanks for popping in. Oh, Mike Flanagan. Heck yes, Trent. I've actually, people have requested that I do reactions to like his Haunting of Hill House series, which I think was rated recently like one of the top ranking Netflix original productions. I've wanted to do reactions to that. I started watching his stuff before I did Reactober, before I really started to integrate into the horror realm. And I know, Danny, I know I'm failing. What's up, Austin? What's up? But so I was still kind of a horror fledgling. I started to watch Midnight Mass, and I got a little bit too scared midway through that. I would like to return to that, but then I need to watch like his Haunting of Hill House and all of those other, because I think he is among, you know, the directors and filmmakers revamping the horror, the genre in general. I also love that it's clear that he values and supports and, you know, has made his career in filmography in recent years with the kind of same troupe of actors. One of them being his absolutely gorgeous wife. Like, I love that power couple. So yeah, I think that's really cool that it just shows that he supports like the artists that he works with and continues to hire them and make roles for them and bring them back. We can talk about something other than Star Wars now, Chi-Town. I've got it out of my my system. Zach, yes, I am considering reacting to some foreign films. In fact, my younger brother, when I was doing Reactober, as you all know, I had reached out to him. I pulled in the reserves and reached out to him for some recommendations because he's a cinephile. He's a little fiend, a movie watching fiend, and in a good way. Like, I think he has good. What am I trying to say? Good standards. Yes. I trust his movie reviews. And so he had recommended a film that I want to watch. What the heck was the name of it? I think I'm gonna watch it regardless. Is this it? Yes, I think so. Cure from 1997, which is described as horror/crime. But the way my brother described it to me, he was like, this is so much more than horror. Like, he's like, that doesn't even perfectly encapsulate it. But it's very highly rated. When I went to do other research on it, I saw people saying that this is one of the craziest horror films that they've ever watched. But I believe it's a Japanese film. So I've contemplated how to go about doing that on the channel, because I know some people don't like subtitles, but we're just gonna have to do it and suck it up. So yes, I definitely have been wanting to get into international films. Heck yes, I love international films. I watched All Quiet on the Western Front from 2022 2 times in a row without subtitles. Oh my gosh, Alice. Dang. That is one I still have to see, because that was a very long film, wasn't it? Isn't that like 3 hours long? That the one on Netflix? Japanese horror is a different breed. Yeah. I love how Ty and Ben at the same time were like, the Japanese can be hardcore. That's so freaking funny. Yes, I would like to do that. And I also have been wanting to dabble more in Japanese media post the Japan blues are sinking in, y'all. I freaking cannot believe I was there this year. Like, I cannot believe that we were in Japan. Like, huh? Very long. It took me 2 days to watch. Yeah. I know. I feel like that is also one. All Quiet on the Western Front is not like a casual watch. Like, you have to lock in. Audition is another one, Ty, that a lot of people had actually suggested that I had never heard of prior to Reactober. I've heard that is like crazy. So I think I definitely want to dabble more in some international culture myself, really, and explore some of those, because yeah, my brother really, he said, honestly, when I first reached out to him about horror reactions or horror films that he likes, he said, honestly, the majority of them are international films, like non-English speaking. And I was like, you know what? We could use more of that, I feel like, around here. So I've never seen Pan's Labyrinth, Stanley's. I thought about doing a reaction to that as well. Daddy Josh, what the frick is up? I watched Sinners for the first time so late to the train, but that was great. I wanted to do that for Reactober. I'm gonna do it either way, but I'm very excited for that one. Do y'all want to know what the frick happened? Here's what happened. I was gonna do that in Reactober. I sat down, I was locked in, I was ready. I went to go rent the movie, bought it, paid money for it, and then the app crashed. Like, the streaming platform where I was watching it. I swear, I bought it on a legit site. I bought it on Amazon Prime, and then my Amazon Prime crashed as I went to go watch it, but I had already paid for it. And apparently once you start watching it, it crashed midway. I watched like the first 30 seconds, admittedly, and then it crashed out. And apparently once you start watching it, you can't get a refund. Amazon, huh? For real? So hopefully they get it together the next time I go and I try to stream it. But yeah, I'm so late to that game. Like, genuinely, I'm preparing to be like publicly shamed whenever I do get around to that reaction, which I would like to do soon, before the end of this year, I swear. Because the way that popped off, like, I wish I had gone to see it in theaters when it was like in the cultural, it was popping off. Especially to contribute to, you know, the box office performance it had, and how historic that is for how historic it was. But I knew in the back burner that I was going to want to react to it at some point, so it's just taken me shamefully long. I'm so behind. I apologies. I can't talk. The Grudge. Now, why have I heard of that one? What's up, Alexandra? Thanks for being here. Y'all are coming through with all the recommendations. Okay, let's get it. Yeah, I should do Pan's Labyrinth. Maybe it's also shameful that I've never seen that one. I watched Pan's Labyrinth in conjunction with Dark Crystal when I was a kid, so I used to interchange their names. Right, isn't it? It's kind of in the same vein, correct? Like, that kind of weird, eerie, like, should I even be watching this as a child type movie? Like, Dark Crystal, The Labyrinth with David Bowie, The Never-Ending Story. I've popped off and gone on rants about these movies in the past, but they're all just a little bit weird. They don't make kids movies like that anymore. And from what I've heard, Pan's Labyrinth and the timeline in which it kind of takes place and the themes and kind of violence that it deals with are not the most kid-friendly, but it's presented in a way I think that is still palatable for a young audience. I don't know. From what I've heard about it, it's actually quite dark. And it has that kind of scary thing. That scary looking thing with the hands, with the eyeballs on the hands. Is that from Pan's Labyrinth? Yup, whatever that thingy is. With the eyeballs on the palms of its hands. Going like that. So that's the only image I ever had associated with that movie. So... yes, dark fantasy genre. That's a good way to put it, Ben. They just don't make them like that anymore. I've gotten so many requests to do the Scream films, and I unfortunately know enough about the first one that I don't think it would be considered a genuine reaction. I'm sorry, because I watched another reactor / like film and TV commentary YouTuber / kind of comedic channel that I watched him do like a review to it, and he revealed quite a lot about the plot. But I knew that when I was watching it. I just threw it on for background noise a few years ago, and then started doing the Reactober videos, and I was like, I probably shouldn't have watched that Scream review all those years ago, because this would have been a perfect franchise to watch. But regardless, there is still a huge franchise, so even if I watched the first movie on my own time and then continued reacting to the rest. Exactly, Pan's Labyrinth is set in the Spanish Civil War in the 1920s. Like, the way that they approach that in a kid-friendly way, I'd be curious. I've heard though that it's, you know, it's presented in a way that is it's still palatable for children. It's and you know, doesn't isolate the young audience in spite of the darker themes. Only one has David Bowie in tight pants. Literal legend. I had a phase in college, because the score and obviously the soundtrack of that film is incredible. And I had a phase in college where I wanted to get a tattoo. It's only forever, not long at all. And then I think another girl that I knew, either already had that tattoo or got it. And then I was like, well, dang, I can't copy her. It's not Thanksgiving next week. It can't be. Isn't it the week after? Tell me November's not already that over. Jennifer Connelly, the literal, like, absolute queen. Like, oh my god, can I say something? Can I make a confession? When I was little, obviously watching that movie for the first time, and she was young in that. Was she even like 13? She might have been 15 years old. How old was Jennifer Connelly in The Labyrinth? She was 15 years old, which is crazy. Because when I was little watching that, I saw her face and I was like, that is the epitome of beauty. That is the most beautiful person I've ever seen. And that has held up. That remains like true. Genuinely, she is just a classically gorgeous, just queen. But she was like my introduction to like, this is what beauty is when I was a kid. Oh my god. I remember I wanted to be her so badly in that scene where you know, she's in that gorgeous, just absolutely, utterly, just stunning ball gown and gets to dance with David Bowie. Oh god, I also thought he was iconic too. I was like, oh my god. Oh, that was like an awakening for me, that entire movie. That was before I even knew who like David Bowie was. Like that was my introduction to him, and then as I got older, learned that he was like, he's a musician as well. But I just always associated him with that role in The Labyrinth. So I was like, you're telling me this man makes music as well? I just didn't even perceive him as a real person. But yeah, that scene where she wears that just gorgeous ball gown, that was like my goal in life as a child watching that. She can act. That's right, she did an amazing job in A Beautiful Mind as well. Another good movie. Shout out to that one. I also love her in that movie, The Rocketeer. That's a little bit of a niche one. Does anybody know that one? I love that movie. I want to rewatch that one. Oh my gosh, Alice! That movie, The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, that is such a good movie. I watched that on a plane, maybe early this year or last year, and it was so good. It was really good. I really enjoyed it. I like that style of action too. That was such a great movie. I wish I had honestly reacted to that because it's so not my speed. Like I didn't even think I was gonna like it. Like whenever I watch new movies on planes, I pick something that I feel like might be inconsequential, where it's like, okay, if I turn out to not like this, then it doesn't matter because I watched it on my phone screen anyway. But that movie turned out to be really good. I was like, dang it, I need to watch this on a real TV. Yes, that movie, that was very well done. That was very well done. What's up, Shake Vivid? Thank you so much. Really liked your reaction videos. Thank you. So yes, Pan's Labyrinth. I'm on a little bit of a Guillermo del Toro kick after Frankenstein. Which was a nice way to segue out of, as I said, kind of like October spooky season, but still have kind of like gothic vibes. Hit me up with any other gothic recommendations, because as I said, I was on that kick, and then I watched Dracula 1992, which was a little bit mind-blowing, by the way, which kind of was not what I thought it was gonna be. I was like, oh, this is a classic, and it's got Keanu Reeves, Gary Oldman, Winona Ryder, stacked cast. And I watched it for the first time recently, and I was like, what? Huh? So if y'all have any other suggestions that are in that similar vein, in that same vein, I heard that Del Toro wants to buy a haunted house, but only if it's haunted. Hey, I don't blame him. What's up, LOL Caver? Good morning. Is it morning for you? What time is it where you're at? Keanu and Dracula was kind of hilarious. He was. You know what? Could he have taken another little additional accent class? Sure, but he still gave it his all, and that's all I ask of him. I appreciate him no matter what he does. I did watch Hereditary, Zach, and it rocked my world. I do want to watch that movie, Ven, the new Dracula one that came out, but it's only available in Europe right now. You lucky folks. It hasn't had its US accessibility yet. The Pale Blue Eyes is a great movie with Christian Bale. Okay. And I'm a Christian Bale fan. The original Interview with a Vampire. That movie's my kryptonite. That movie is my guilty pleasure. That movie is my guilty pleasure. And what's hysterical about that is Tom Cruise is giving his all, giving the performance of his life. Like, you can tell that he is like a theater kid, thespian, like living his dream, like in that movie, giving the most vampiric vibes. And then you have Brad Pitt, who like is not giving anything. Literally gives nothing in that movie. And I understand his character is meant to be lamenting for all of it, but like Tom Cruise had to feed off of something, and Brad Pitt was just like, they just put a wig on him and that's how he got into character and just called it a day. And Tom Cruise is just like acting his life off. And not to mention Kirsten Dunst, like 8 years old was she in that film? Like that was her literal debut, I'm pretty sure. I think she was maybe like 11 or something when that came out. Also acting for her life. Oh, I love that movie. Oh, that movie is so freaking good. That is really my guilty pleasure. I usually watch it around this time of year, so I have to get back into that. Ty says, I still have not watched Nosferatu. Can I tell you something? Can I make a confession? I didn't like that movie. I didn't like Nosferatu. It was really, dare I say, suffered from boredom during that. Which is a shame because it is visually gorgeous. Like that, it was beautiful, striking. Everything I ranted about earlier about how I feel like modern filmmaking is just continuously going down the drain, tanking. We're circling the drain. We're about to get sucked down the drain of AI and just everything CGI and nothing is real anymore. That film is the antithesis of everything that I just complained about. Like, you could, wherever they filmed it, filmed beautifully, filmed practically, phenomenal cast, like incredible storytelling. I just was bored. I agree, Shake Vivid. It was just too much style over substance. Right, like that film could have been an hour shorter. It was like 2 hours and 45 minutes. It's a long movie, and it didn't need all that. It didn't need to be. I which is a shame because I was so excited to go see it. And it was popping off online. It was just getting rave reviews for all of the reasons I just stated, like the cinematography, shooting on location, minimal if any CGI. Like I don't know, but it just, yeah, I was a little bit bored, which is a shame. I'm sorry. I don't know. I'm tempted to rewatch it this year. Now that I never watched it after I went to go see it in theaters, so maybe I'm due for giving it another chance. I should give it a fair try. Dark City is a gothic sci-fi film with Jennifer Connelly. Okay, you're speaking my language. That's literally everything I could have asked for. Oh, I know what I'm doing tonight. I've got some gothic movies I gotta watch. This is great. I'm gonna be coming back to this chat. Or maybe I should react to some of these. I don't know. Would y'all watch? I feel like that's such a different niche that we haven't really conquered on the channel, but that's genuinely like my favorite. I love that type of stuff, and it's extra points if it's like a period drama as well. That's really my favorite. That's like some of my favorite movies. Um, so I've not seen Northman. I have seen The Witch. But I haven't seen a lot of these. Crimson Peak. Okay, okay. Maybe I will react to them. Daniel, watched Midsummer a long time ago because I ride for Florence Pugh. She's in the same boat for me as like Alden Ehrenreich when it comes to worship their theatricality, their skill. Like, she is just a generational, arguably one of the best talents of just generations in general. She is just an incredible actor. So I had a mission to watch everything that she ever did when I was younger. I watched that kind of tail end of college. I think I watched Midsummer because I was like, Florence Pugh, I love her. And I didn't realize the direction it was going to take. And I'm thinking about it, like, that movie maybe is more scarring than Hereditary, because I came out of Hereditary like very thoroughly creeped out, but it was still, I could not deny or hide from the fact that it was just a phenomenal film, just incredibly well told. The unfolding of that story and just the familial dynamic and the tragedy and everything that just went down in that movie. Like, I was so freaked out at the end, but I was just fixating on how phenomenal it was, like, just incredible. And Midsummer, I didn't feel like that. Not that it wasn't a good movie, but I was just more so in the trenches of what have I done? What have I just watched? Like, will I ever be able to erase this from my brain? Like, will I ever be the same again? Like, that is how that movie sits with you. It just like, I don't think I've ever. I felt that a little bit, I think, during Hereditary, but it was, I think, amplified in, Midsummer, of just the absolute, what the heck am I watching? And will I ever be the same? But yeah, she acted her heart out in that. She gave it her all. I think she's half the reason that movie popped off. Her performance is just incredible, and obviously it's a shame because I could go on forever about, her character and what she went through and why, she was perfectly poised for all of that to happen. But I wish I could delete that movie from my brain, but I did it for her. I love her. She is also somebody that I think seems like she is a good person just in general. I miss her. She used to go live a lot on Instagram or do a lot of like cooking videos and tutorials on her Instagram page, and she doesn't do that anymore, probably because she's protecting her peace. I hope she's living a good life. I think she's dialed back a lot from like the public eye, but yeah, I love her. I freaking worship her. But that movie, I do regret that. I do regret that. TBH, I love dressing up in gothic vampire attire in my spare time, so I would be down for a full month of gothic themed reactions, and maybe I would have to dress up for it as well, Alice. Maybe I'll get little vampire teeth. We'll be doing some gothic horror. Sorry, I thought the wind picked up outside. It was freaking windy here today, y'all. I'm getting reacclimated with the elements, so whenever I hear wind blowing now, I'm like, Not that we never had wind in LA, but wind, rain, cold, the sounds of nature, it's all unfamiliar to me. But it was just the heat kicking on. I'll show up to these gothic reactions and I'll have those little fake, like, vampire teeth in. Who's better, ScarJo or Florence Pugh? I don't know if I could choose. ScarJo is in one of my favorite movies ever, though, and I low-key didn't even know that was her in this movie, because she has, like, shaved eyebrows. One of my... yeah, I will do Sinners, don't worry, Daddy Josh. I don't get the fake vampire teeth for that. Trust. I know, I'm, like, I was shaking with excitement when I went to go and actually watched that movie that day, and then Amazon decided it could sense, it gets sense in the ether that I was hyped, and it decided to rain on my parade. Thank you so much, Jared, for hanging out. It was good to see you. Hope to catch you guys on your next live stream. I hope so too, and I promise it will not be another 3-month hiatus. We will not take another 3-month intermission from going live after this. I gotta bring back weekly streams. I gotta bring back Night Owl streams. We had that Night Owl stream that was so fun. Earlier this year, did we do that? Pre-summertime. It was like post-Japan. Yes, because I was still a little bit like, I think I was nursing the jet lag from Japan, so I was like, let me go live at midnight. But yes, ScarJo is in The Girl with a Pearl Earring, which is a very, I think, that was one of my favorite books, which is kind of like a historical fiction, I think, fantasized, you know, adaptation about the relationship between the model in that famous painting and, you know, the artist Vermeer. But I freaking love that movie, and I love her in that movie, and I didn't even know that was her because I think she has shaved eyebrows, and it just does not look like her. I miss the Night Owl streams. I do too, Simply. We listen, y'all. I'm geriatric. There I was about to say, we used to do those all the time, and it's because I was young. It's because I was in my glory days. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling the oldness sinking in. I am not the same machine I once was. Low-key, when I was wrapping up not wrapping up really, when I was mainly just in the trenches, I spent a week, that's why I tapped out, finishing up my project for my first module here for school, and I was going from dawn till dusk, trying to at least, but I was, you know, pretty much working on it all day and then staying up till like 3 a.m. one night to finish it. And in undergrad, I could rock, and like, especially I commuted for a semester in undergrad and had to wake up at like 5 o'clock in the morning to go catch an early train because I think I self-sabotaged and had like an 8 a.m. class as a commuter. Hey, that was awful on my part, but my body was a machine in college. I was going to sleep at like 1 a.m. I would get 4 hours of sleep and then wake up at 5 and go do it. And I have a full day of class. So here I was thinking I could relive that for grad school. I was like, how hard can that be? I have to just conjure that energy again. Because I don't feel old. I feel the same. Well, not really, not always, but psychologically, I don't know, internally in my soul, I don't feel much older. What is there is a transition that they do not warn you about. So if you're in college right now, Simply, anybody else who's in university or college, do not take it for granted, because you will be able to achieve things that you did not think possible, because your body is just an engine. It is just constantly running on pure adrenaline and vibes, fumes, and a prayer. And then you're gonna leave, and one day you're gonna be like 5 years out of college. Redacted. You'll be redacted years out of college and think you can operate the same, and you will not be able to. I don't say this to scare you about aging. I say this because I wish somebody had told me that. Because people always phrase it as, oh, enjoy your energy now, it's all downhill from there. Which I don't think is the correct approach, because then that just makes you feel like sorry that I'm young with endless energy. No, take advantage of it. I'm trying to phrase this as, you have no idea. Test yourself. No, that's not good. I was gonna say, you are in your prime and you might not know it. That's how people should phrase it. So appreciate it. Do what you gotta do to power through. Stay up till 5 a.m. if you have to, because you'll be able to, and you can recover. I stayed up till 3. Y'all, I locked in for like 4 days straight to finish this project. Had to type up a bibliography for the first time in like 5 years. I didn't know what the frick I was doing. Like literally, I spent like 4 days straight, literally from the point I woke up and went to sleep, working on this final project here. And then I needed days to recover. Like, I was out for the count. So this is not to scare you. This is to say, take advantage, lock in, you're in your prime. And I wish that's how people phrased it. I feel like older generations, when, you know, talking to younger folks, have this kind of like cynical perspective of appreciate it now because it's only going to get worse. But I feel like it's hard to just write that off if somebody comes at you with that, with the negativity aspect of it. But positivity, lock in. You're in the best time of your life. Yup, Ty, I'm in bed at 10 p.m. And up at 6 a.m. I feel so old. I do too. I do too. Peace out, Ricky. Thank you so much for being here. All that flavored water, Stanley's. Y'all, Tom's telling me that it's not good for me, but it's making me drink water again. It's keeping me hydrated. I guess because there's food dye. Whatever. I'll take my water with food dye. I don't care. At this point, something's gonna take me out, you know? If it's my Mayo, if it's me drinking too much flavored water, then so be it. There are worse ways. I'm at uni again after years of already finishing, and you're absolutely right. It is definitely not the same. My brain ain't braining. Yes! Like, literally, I am struggling to lock in. And this is also what's crazy, and it must be wild to be in college or university right now. It's probably fine. Oh, now you're chirping, McBots. There you are. There you are chirping about my food coloring whenever I go and pour it in my water, but now you think it's fine. Yeah, like I can't lock in the way I used to. But that's got to be crazy now in today's day and age, because I got off on the last lifeboat out of the Titanic, y'all, for lack of a better way to frame it when it comes to college and AI, because that has got to be just, that would be so. Luckily I'm doing another visual art kind of major here where there's no room for, like, I'm not necessarily, there's no room for me to integrate AI because my professors would be able to tell. And I'm not saying I would want to, but it's like, everybody's making their work. You trust that everybody is creating their own original, pieces and whatnot, and not utilizing AI. And that would just be, I don't think I would be able to handle that well, though, if I was in another major and I was academically competing with people just like people who can't, like people just can't write essays anymore. Like, how are people taking the SATs anymore? I swear we all have ADHD. Exactly, Ty. Like, oh, peace out, Stanley. Thank you for being here. Or is it simply who's leaving? If you're leaving, thank you for being here. Sorry. I'm struggling. I'm going on all my tangents. We've spoken so much about AI today. I guess it was just weighing on my soul. Not leaving yet, simply. I was saying by, oh, okay. Phew. Y'all are not being held hostage here. You can leave whenever you want. Thank you guys, regardless, whether you've tuned in. I know that the folks who lurk in the shadows and don't interact in the chat, I appreciate you as well. So if you've been listening but not interacting or engaging in the chat, we still love you. Peace out, Zach. Thank you for being here. I'm still here. Shout out, simply shout out. Thank you. A lot of y'all have been here since the start. We've been going for 2 hours. I committed to at least 3 mentally. So let's strive for maybe we'll hit the 3-hour mark and see how we're going. I haven't streamed in so long. So my brain's low-key like, girl, are you able to keep going? Peace out, 3. Thank you for being here. What We Do in the Shadows. Oh my god, JL. That's one of my favorite television shows of all time, and I'm actually so depressed because this is like the first kind of October/fall season where the show wasn't on, where we didn't have a new season. I'm so upset. Oh, that show is so freaking good. As is the source material, the movie, if that's what you're talking about with Taika Waititi. I love both of them, and the series. It did definitely have to come to an end. Like, they were definitely running out of ideas, but I could have watched that show forever. I just loved it so much. Lurkers are the backbone. Exactly, Sean. I'm a lurker. I I'm probably the definition of a lurker. If I'm being real, the way I interact with my fave channels, I watch everything but just never comment or engage. I have not seen Van Helsing. Oh, Matt Berry's in the Fallout TV show? Okay, well, there's a new incentive for me to watch. That's been on my list. A lot of you guys have been recommending that. And isn't there a second season coming out? So maybe I should lock in and do that as well. I haven't watched Welcome to Derry yet, Ty. I've been behind. I think I'm just gonna be perpetually backlogged for the remainder of this year because of the moving process and having to like get my shiz together and recalibrate, because I haven't watched the Alien Earth series. I've not been watching Welcome to Derry. All these things I told myself I was gonna watch, I have been out of the loop. I have not been on my game. So I've been hearing good things about both, though. I don't know. Is Welcome to Derry scary? Can I confess something? Can I be honest, y'all? I did not watch it chapter 2 this time around for Reactober because I was so effing scared of the first one, of it. Like, that movie honestly really terrified me more than I thought. I think I'd set myself up for failure because I was just underestimating it, and then it turned out to be extremely horrifying, like so much more than I thought it was going to be. And so I'm even more scared for the second one. Maybe it won't be as bad, but because they're not children anymore, it's their adult versions. So there's something about obviously the violence against children that kind of amplified the fear for me and made it harder to watch. So maybe part 2, well, I don't know, but I avoided it this time around. I know I have to get to it eventually, but I'm just really scared. So is Welcome to Derry also scary? Simply, I just wanted to mention this real quick, but I'm so thankful for you streaming. I'm thankful for you being here, you and Tom in this community. I love it so much. Thank you. You guys are my friends, and I think it's so cool. I am so glad you feel that way, because that's how I feel. And honestly, I was low-key nervous, y'all, to come back today, because I was like, I haven't streamed in like 3 months since before we moved out of LA. I was like, are they even gonna remember me? I genuinely really talked myself into thinking that like 2 people were gonna show up today because I abandoned y'all, not by choice. Just life things. And so I'm just grateful that y'all still showed up, and I seriously mean it, and in the least parasocial way possible, that I really do consider this like we're one big friend group here, and I feel out of sorts. I feel out of whack whenever we don't hang out for a long period of time like it has been. So I'm grateful to hear that it is the same, that it is mutual, back like we never left. It always feels that way, doesn't it, Daddy Josh? I heard that the It show is good, and I might just skip the second film since the show is a prequel. Right, like I feel like I can watch it no matter what, even if I haven't watched the second movie yet, because it's like kind of all of their ancestors' timeline, correct? Kat, you're timeless. We will never abandon you. Thank you. We're here for you. Thank y'all. You guys. I seriously, I start to not feel like myself. I start to feel like too disconnected. So that's why I was just like yesterday, I was just very last minute impromptu, like, should we just go live and abandon all of our other responsibilities for the day? But I was due for sure. Like, we've had so much to catch up on, and the timing, obviously, like with Reactober, like I just kind of buckled down to do the horror content, but it's not the same, you know, like that's like a fun little niche segment on the channel, but just to catch up and see how all of you have been doing and share the updates on our life, because it's just been a crazy time. I have not seen Rosemary's Baby, Danny, but I know of the premise enough of it that I don't know if I'd be able to get away with doing a reaction to it, but I want to watch it on my own time because I've never actually seen it. Oh, will I be reviewing A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms? Let me be real. I don't know. I've actually considered that because well, obviously, just Game of Thrones universe. McBots was holding down the fort. McBots was streaming a lot too, y'all. I gave McBots their time to shine and do a lot of. They've been doing the Battlefield streams, so they've been getting the live energy up in here. And I've occasionally popped in the background of that one, unknowingly, and then I go back and tune in on the stream and I see myself there in my pajamas sneaking past to go to the kitchen to get a snack or something like that. Where am I totally just blanked on what I was talking about. Oh, Rosemary's Baby, that's right. Yeah, I would like to watch that on my own. I didn't know Julia Garner is doing a prequel. Talk about another generational talent. Oh my god, shout out to Ozark. Indeed. That show is so good. That show is so good. Oh my god, I want to rewatch that. There's so many other shows I still need to watch though, but I'm in a mood to rewatch some of my faves. I need to rewatch Peaky Blinders. Peaky Blinders before that theatrical release comes out, because it's culminating. That's going to be the actual finale, correct? So I have to lock back in and get back into Peaky mode. It's been a hot minute. I'm in the mood to... I'm not actively watching any shows right now, so I need something to feel productive. I was gonna watch the HBO series Task with Mark Ruffalo, and speaking of Ozark, the actor who plays Wendy's brother, Ben... Tom Pelfrey, yes. Right, he plays Ben in Ozark, correct? Like, talk about another freaking, oh my god, like, once in a lifetime, just amazing performance. That show is so good. That show is so good. Yes, Ben Davis. Oh my god, that show is so good. I wanted to watch this series on HBO because I think it's in the same cinematic universe. It's the same creators of like Mare of Easttown, in terms of it's about detectives and FBI agents and whatnot, and it's all in the tri-state area. Yes, in the Philadelphia area, because Mare of Easttown took place in like Delco. Yes, in a small Pennsylvania town. I think it was like the Delco area. And this one Task takes place in Philadelphia, and this came out kind of in September timeline, and I wanted to watch it. And then we had freshly moved, and I read the description. I think it deals with yes, investigating violent robberies across the suburbs. And I was like, I don't know if I want to think about that right now. But then I watched Reactober, which all of that dealt with a lot worse than violent crime. So maybe now I will watch that, because I loved Mare of Easttown. Holy frick, Kate Winslet, that was another really good show. And it adds another element when it takes place, because that's where I'm from, the Philadelphia suburbs. There is something inherently creepy about that. There can be about those areas. It's almost like it's like if you've ever watched like a true crime documentary, and then they do that obligatory pan out wide drone shot panorama of what the town looks like, and you're like, yeah, that checks out. That looks like that, that's kind of, it adds that kind of air to it. Just being from that area. So I really want to watch that. Peaky Blinders is literally peak Daddy Josh. Talk about one of the best shows ever. Task was incredible. Okay. Task was gripping. Okay. I did watch that movie, Daniel. We Live in Time. It put me in a really sad mood. Yeah, that is not a feel good movie. Impulse Films says, I think you would love Twin Peaks. That you just reminded me. That's been on my radar. And I started that show. I've told y'all this story before. I started that show as a senior in high school. I don't even think I finished the first episode. I watched it because that show was out in like my parents' generation was my age, like watching that. And so my dad and my mom both like really talk favorably about that show. So one day she sat me down to like try to watch the first episode, Excuse me. Whoops, sorry, excuse me. Had a Mountain Dew before this. Oh, maybe that's where some of my energy is coming from. But that was a mistake, sorry. And we sat down to watch, and without really giving anything away, in the opening of the show, it's a small northwestern town, also a type of place where they do a panorama of the neighborhood, and you're like, yeah, that looks about right. That looks like where a homicide would happen. And there's the discovery of a young girl's body, and you come to learn that she was the homecoming queen. She was well loved in her community and very successful, and a high schooler, and had just won homecoming queen. And then literally months before I had watched this, I had won homecoming queen at my high school, and so I remember this vividly, watching this with my mom. And when we got to that scene, she looks over at me and she was like, homecoming queen. And I was like, do I have a target on my back now? I was like, great. So I stopped watching it. That was obviously an irrational fear, but I want to get back into that. I actually really do. Because Kyle MacLachlan as well. Like, yes, David Lynch, like, I think that is just like, that is a generational show. And there was a reboot of it, no? Because I remember, I think my mom was watching it a few years ago. Like, Amanda Seyfried was in it. So, yeah, I need to tap into that. X-Files, that's another one, right, that I have never watched. Dana Scully, is that? Making sure I'm getting my facts right. Yes. Scully and Mulder, yes. I see people brooding over these two all the time as a ship, an iconic TV series ship. So I've been, that's been on my radar too. So yeah, there's a lot of shows. Maybe I'll start Twin Peaks. Honestly, good call, Impulse. Good call. It was rebooted. Okay, so I'm not crazy. I will never get sick of the X-Files theme song, right? Like, I feel like that's just a cultural one that I need to finally check off of my list. I've been watching Criminal Minds recently. That's a good one, simply. That's a good one. So yeah, I need a show. Maybe that's why I've been feeling out of sorts. I need a show. I always need something like productive to look forward to, or like productive, aka watching a TV show, having the next episode to watch. But seriously, I'm lacking a show right now. So I need that. Can I be honest? I know I need to power through Alien Earth, but the first episode was a lot for me. I was just like, I feel like this is trying to do too much, introducing too many characters at once with nobody that I can necessarily feel like I'm rooting for right now. Granted, that was one episode in. It just felt like a lot, and it didn't grip me immediately. But the way I see people talking about it and rejoicing because it got renewed for a second season, I'm like, all right, I should lock in. So I know I need to continue with that. Severance, y'all are mentioning a lot of these Apple TV shows. I have drawn the line at Apple TV. I stand by this. That is the one, we have every other freaking streaming, HBO Max, Amazon Prime, Netflix, YouTube TV, which is the biggest freaking scam in the world, by the way, and I will say that on YouTube actively. Frick you, YouTube TV. Genuinely, the biggest freaking money-grabbing scam. Awful. And now they kicked off just awful. YouTube TV, Amazon Prime, Stars, HBO Max. I'm forgetting something. Like, we have Peacock, Paramount Plus. Like, there's too many. And so I drew the line at Apple TV. But unfortunately, I think you're right, Ty. Apple TV is worth it. I feel like in their early days, they weren't pumping out that much. And now I feel like they're actually like a competitor. Like, I feel like they actually, like Severance, they're way more in the pipeline, I feel like, mainstream. So maybe I'll bite the bullet and do it, because I would love to watch Severance, would love to watch Foundation. Oh my gosh, with freaking Lee Pace. Are you kidding me? Are you joking? The literal god himself. I would honestly, that's worth it. Lee Pace and whatever he does is worth an Apple TV subscription. So I might just do it. But also Severance is literally like award winning, you know. So, but also there's a lot of good sci-fi on there. Somebody mentioned the Silo series. There's that new one from Vince Gilligan, Pluribus. So yeah, I might have to just bite the bullet. If you really want to get into a show, I also recommend Mr. Robot. I've heard amazing things about that show. My favorite show of all time, next to Clone Wars. Holy shnikes, that is saying something. Lee Pace nails that role. He nails everything. That man, literally, just like, oh my god, his performance in the Hobbit films, like, yes, Thranduil changed me. I wish I could be that. Like, that is the definition of freaking badass, freaking coolest person ever, in my opinion. Like, genuinely, like, oh, he, like, born to be an elf. That is Lee Pace. So I would love to watch Foundation, but also because, what's his face is also in it. His name's on the tip of my tongue, and I'm gonna be really disappointed because I'm not gonna remember it off the top of my head. Jared Harris, yes, Jared Harris, another freaking absolute goat. So, do I bite the bullet and get Apple TV? If I did, I would do it. I would make it worth it and film reactions to these things. Reactions to Severance would actually probably be great. I really should do that. So maybe the takeaway from this is I'm gonna cave and get Apple TV. Agreed about Alien Earth. Okay, thank you, Johnny Rogue. I was feeling nervous that I was the only one. I'm still struggling to get into it. 6 episodes in. Yeah, I just wasn't. I only watched 1 episode, but I was like, this is jumping around too much. It was trying to be too confusing for its own good. Like, it's like, you don't need to do all that. It gets to a point, like, I feel like it's the Game of Thrones effect, where all these shows now feel like they have to start out with these very complex, all these different storylines, all these different characters at play, going on, parallel kind of storylines that will eventually converge and whatnot. But it's like, I think people forget Game of Thrones didn't really start that way. It branched off. It eventually evolved to have multiple different, plot points and through lines. And, you would sometimes go several episodes without tuning in with certain characters, but like, it didn't start like that. And I feel like so many shows now feel this need to be overwhelmingly confusing or a lot up front. And that's how the first episode felt, to the point where I genuinely didn't know what the F was going on. And I was honestly, like, genuinely, I was like, thank God I didn't react to this, because I remember chirping earlier this year that I might react to that show. And I was sitting there watching it thinking, like, I'm glad that I didn't, because I don't know what any of this is. I don't know what any of this means, and not in a good way. Like, I was just scratching my head, like, I'm not enjoying this. But that was only the first episode, so maybe it was just trying to be too much for its own good in episode 1, and it didn't grab me right away. And I was just a little bit sad because I had seen people like rejoicing about this show, so I probably need to just keep going and giving it a fair chance. But it was just confusing to me, because the other Alien films, like, okay, Prometheus and Covenant are a different story. They are a little bit more like, okay, what's going on? How does this tie into everything? But they're not outwardly overly confusing. And the Alien films, like, it's a basic premise at the end of the day. So that's why I was like, why is this show so complicated? I don't know. I need to lock back in and actually give it a fair chance. But I'm glad I wasn't the only one who felt that way, because I was beginning to feel like, is it just me? Why am I not enjoying this? If I hadn't watched the first episode at Comic-Con, I'm pretty sure my attention would have wandered, but I did lock in eventually. That's a good point. I was like, maybe I should have been reacting to this, because I feel a heightened sense of need to focus whenever I do reactions, because I want to be able to have fully formed commentary about it. But that's the only commentary I could offer about Alien Earth, is I had no clue what the frick was happening. So, that's right, Prometheus and Alien Covenant and Alien Earth. Oh, Alien Earth takes place before Alien. I didn't know that. I guess I didn't question when. But that might have helped my viewing experience. Low key. Because I guess I maybe that's on me that I didn't question where in the timeline it was. But that might have helped. Maybe I need to rewatch it. Yeah, I gotta lock back in. That's right, the new Predator movie came out. I'm behind in that universe. I gotta watch the other Predator films. There's a lot I gotta lock in and catch up on. But yeah, Foundation, maybe I'll cave and I'll do it. Maybe I'll do it, because I've heard that Apple TV is really popping off for sci-fi. Yes, Nemec is in it. So I might keep following through to see what happens with him. But yeah, I've heard that Apple TV is really popping off with sci-fi now. And I do feel very out of the loop, because I never watched Severance and every award season. Did Severance beat out Andor? What beat? Well, we didn't even get as many nominations as we should have. I just remember fearing that we were nominated for Outstanding Drama, what ended up winning? Did Andor win? Yo, I was oh, The Pit. Oh, I haven't watched that either. I should watch that one. You guys have said amazing things about that. And I am a sucker. Unfortunately, that's my kryptonite. I love medical dramas. It started off with Grey's Anatomy in college. I low-key never used to be interested in those, and then I hopped on the bandwagon, and now I love that stuff. Like Chicago Med. Oh, I love that show. So I know I would enjoy The Pit. And from what I've seen, it's actually like very realistic. Like Grey's Anatomy tapered off. It stopped being realistic. Like being a real doctor watching that show is probably torturous, because it's so like, I imagine, not like representational of real life. Okay, so The Pit won. Was that the only thing we got nominated for? No, because we won for Best Writing. I can't even look into it. We were just robbed in so many regards. The cast, everybody. I remember I was gonna have a full-blown like Emmys watch party on the channel, and I never did, because we got snubbed. We were robbed. Simply, you never finished Andor? Simply, I highly suggest you do. Did you not enjoy it? I know you're in college. I'll write it off on that. I know you're busy, but try to finish it if you want. Nathan Green Audio, what's up? Thanks for tuning in. I never watched House. I should get on that too. The Gilroys won for writing. That's right. The production designer from Andor won too. Oh, and he's doing the Batman Part 2 right now. Well, I can't wait to get that one in 2030 at this rate. Do we have any actual anticipated timeline for that one? Is that going to be like 2027? And I'm also so upset, because I think it's been confirmed that Sophia Falcone is not going to be in that, and she won, didn't she? Um, they all kind of won, I think, for like a limited series. I think Kristen Milioti, yes, I think she won for, yes. She won Outstanding Lead Actress in a Limited or Anthological Series, and she freaking deserved. That's right, that's my freaking queen. All right, Will to Live restored. That was redemption for the snubbing, the absolute highway robbery that was committed against Andor. But I will take that. Yeah, I don't think any Andor actors won anything. That's right. I think only Forrest Whitaker was nominated. Like, we were just robbed in all regards. Yeah, agreed, Matthew. Honest, Stellan Skarsgård should have gotten an Emmy nomination for his performance in the Andor episode, Make It Stop Alone. Yeah. Just listen, we still have barriers to break, y'all. Honestly, I think it's an accomplishment because I feel like sci-fi and Star Wars and, those kinds of productions are looked down on in the eye of, like, primetime television, the Academy and all of that stuff. And so I think the biggest win is that I'm trying to walk away and just take the win, which is that we had even been nominated and came on their radar, and have a show in the Star Wars pipeline that could compete with all of these other, I always say, like, Andor, all of the other shows, on Disney Plus, I feel like don't, how do I say this? There is a look and feel and distinct aesthetic of Disney Plus Star Wars shows. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying Andor, I think, is the outlier that could exist on other platforms like HBO or Apple TV or all these other platforms that have the projects that are competing every year for best drama and stuff like that. So the fact that we even just broke that ceiling of just even getting recognized by the Academy and the Emmys and whatnot, I think is a big deal. But yeah, I think all of the cast was just robbed. But I think it's known. I don't think it's a secret that, like, the people within the academies and the voters and whatnot, I feel like they have come out and openly said they don't always watch everything. What's up, Charlie? Home early, let's get it. It's snowing like crazy. Oh my gosh. Stay warm, get warm. Stellan Skarsgård's speech is what awards are made of. Literally. But I think honestly, it might be not for the best. It would have been amazing. And I think it would have been huge and sent a message, to Disney of, like, look, this is winning us awards. This is winning accolades and public recognition and drawing the general audiences who don't watch any Disney Star Wars or any Disney Plus television. Like, this is drawing people in who have never watched Star Wars before to watch Andor. And had we won, I think like vicariously, you know what I'm saying? Like, it would have been a win for the fandom, the fans, like, had Andor won, which they did. They won for the writing, so hopefully. But if they had, continued to win, like, best drama and whatnot, I feel like that really would have sent the message that we need, which is to convey, like, we want to see more productions like Andor. Like, it does feel like that was an outlier, and it's, in hindsight, a miracle that so much of that show and the content and the subject matter that it covered was made in this era of, Disney Star Wars shows. And how mature they sometimes don't get, in my opinion, whereas Andor, I wouldn't even necessarily qualify it as more mature, but just the storytelling and the drama and the quality and the production value. Like, had we won best drama, I think that would have sent a message like, yeah, that, like, look, like, this is not just succeeding within the fandom but in the public eye, which would have been huge. Lord Insidious, what the heck is up? Yeah, Alice, you make a really good point. I don't want to assume, but I really believe that the tone, story, and the themes in Andor do not sit well with the people at the top. Yep. Yeah, and you know, I think just even getting nominated, even getting that recognition is a huge deal, because I don't think Star Wars really gets that treatment very frequently. Granted, we need to start, like, yeah, keep making shows that do get that kind of public recognition. Nominated for best drama, that's huge. And I don't want to see us regress from that. I would like to see us keep going. Granted, we're kind of at the end of the cusp now. We're on the cusp, we're off the cusp when it comes to, are there any new Star Wars? I don't think there's any new series, unless there's something secretly in development. We're waiting, obviously, the Darth Maul show. Don't worry, y'all, I haven't forgotten about that. But if Mandalorian continues to get subsequent seasons after the film, obviously Ahsoka season 2, but there's no new shows. Everything from here on out, I think, is just a continuation or an additional season of something we already have. So where is there opportunity? There is opportunity now, hopefully, that, I don't know, maybe there's room now, if they've seen the high praise and the literal accolades within Hollywood, and just, you know, filmmaking and show running in general, to be nominated amongst these other shows and to win for the writing. Like, I hope they don't sleep on that. And there is an opportunity here. There's peak. I think a lot of other filmmakers and writers would probably like to come in and fill this void now and be like, hey, let's take the reins and make something similar quality to this, like in the same caliber. At the same time, the flip side of the coin, what I was going to say was, maybe it's a good thing that we didn't win. At the same time, I do think that Andor has not driven a wedge in the fandom, but some people resonate with it and some people do not. And some people do genuinely not connect with it as a Star Wars production. And that is fair and that is valid and that is totally okay. But I do think there is a toxic positivity that has been bred as well. And maybe at times I've been guilty of it. And for that, I do apologize if anyone has ever felt that way, because I've never tried to express it as, if you don't like Andor, then you just don't have media literacy, like your comprehension is poor. Like, you see that kind of argument in the fandom, which I don't think is productive, and that's not going to do anything to help progress the movement to get more shows made that are in the same caliber as Andor, in my opinion. And it also, without fail, you know, as Andor was airing, it's like all these other shows came on the chopping block. You know, I saw people criticizing Ahsoka and whatnot. It's like, we don't have to pit these against each other. Like, Ahsoka is Ahsoka and Andor is Andor, and they do not have to be the exact same thing. So yeah, if we had won, I feel like that might have fueled some of those arguments of like, look, Andor's better than anything else Star Wars. That's a good point, Ven. That's not even toxic positivity. That's just toxic. Exactly. Like, really seeing people feel like fear being able to voice their opinion of whether they didn't actually like Andor for valid reasons or not, or just couldn't connect to it, which, again, like, some people genuinely did not register it as Star Wars, and you can't fault people for that. Everybody has their own nostalgia and essence of Star Wars, and so you can't fault people if it just wasn't clicking for them, which is totally fair. And do I feel bad? Yes, because I think Andor's amazing. But I do think it created a kind of elitist wedge and just gave people, I don't know, people this unwarranted campaign against other shows to kind of bolster Andor. And it's like, we don't need to criticize Ahsoka. We don't need to tear down the Book of Boba Fett or the Mandalorian or prematurely dunk on Mando and Grogu just because it might not replicate everything we want it to about Andor. It doesn't have to dull the light of these other shows. I think that's what I'm trying to say. So, I have not seen Stranger Things. I have never seen Stranger Things, and I have not seen Arcane. That is in... I don't know if I want to watch Stranger Things, to be completely honest. That just feels like a lot. And also, I kind of just really have a soft spot. Like, I just feel very sensitively about violence against children, and I think that's what's happening. Like, all these kids are obviously... They're, what, 21-year-olds now, finishing out the final season, but they were all quite young when they got started, so I think they play, like, young, prepubescent kind of tweens in the early seasons, and I just don't want to... I just have to draw the line somewhere, I feel like, and it honestly, every time somebody has tried to explain the show to me, it's too complex for my brain. I want to watch Arcane, Shake Vivid, I do. There's only 50 episodes of Stranger Things. Like, yeah, like, I'm behind. I am behind. I think it's too late for me. That might be one of those shows where it's just like, I didn't watch it live. I can't tune in now. I don't have the time. But I do want to check out Arcane, because that's only 2 seasons, correct? And it finished. It's concluded, I believe, from my understanding. Is that a real word that I'm trying to wrap my head around? Toxic positivity. Maybe in the past new generation, but I like to call it being happy / nice. That's true, Charlie. I don't know. I've seen people make the argument for toxic positivity. Maybe not toxic positivity, but just kind of ostracizing people and isolating people in the fan base if they don't... If, God forbid, somebody doesn't think Andor is the best thing they've ever seen, which, hey, is fair. That's why I feel like, you know, Andor especially was divisive in ways that we haven't seen the, you know, for example, Andor was a different type of divisive from Acolyte. Acolyte had everybody coming for each other's jugular. Andor had people, you know, I think it just bred this era of elitism that certain fans would patronize or talk down about other fans if they didn't like the show, for fair and valid reasons. So, but still, I hope that can't have gone unnoticed, that it literally received recognition in the field of, like, filmmaking and television. So I don't know, there is a huge opportunity right now, because like I said, we only have just additional seasons coming forward for, you know, Ahsoka, maybe Skeleton Crew, I don't know, The Mandalorian potentially, and we have the new Maul series coming out, but there's no new, as far as we know of, no new live action shows in the pipeline. So there's a vacancy, there's open vacancy if anybody wants to fill the void. Me putting this out into the ether. Yeah, we can only hope. I don't know. I think maybe though they have to pump. I think Star Wars is about to pump the brakes on the shows because they went full pedal to the metal on Disney Plus, and then here we are in the film purgatory. So I think they've proven they can't juggle both. I mean, maybe here they can, because we're finally getting Mandalorian and Grogu up and running, you know, cinematically, but that was fueled off of earlier seasons of the show. So I think maybe we're gonna see a decline in the shows and whatnot, and I don't know, because what the freak is the schedule on? All right, I'll stop complaining about it, but how did Mandalorian and Grogu come off the top ropes to beat all of the other theatrical releases that they teased at London Celebration however many years ago? Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's when they announced the Rey film, that's when they announced James Mangold's film, that's when they also announced an additional Dave Filoni film that I think is not the same as what Mandalorian and Grogu is, right? That was going to be a Mandoverse kind of culmination, was it not? Is that still happening? I don't think Mandalorian and Grogu has replaced that. So How did Mando and Grogu come off the top ropes and beat all of them? Like, well, where are we developmentally with any of those? And then we learned that, oh, the hunt for Ben Solo was gonna be a thing, and then we can't have nice things, so maybe that has to be the trade-off of the brakes are about to be pumped for the TV shows, and we might get less content. But it might, I don't know, maybe they're taking the quality over quantity approach, which I think is what's happening with Marvel right now, because they did the same thing. And I think people have Marvel fatigue and also just valid critique of, why do I have to watch all of these other shows in order to be able to enjoy going to see the movies? You can't even watch the movies really anymore without having watched, oh, you gotta watch Loki season 2 for this, but then you specifically have to watch this episode of WandaVision for XYZ. It's like that starts to lose. There's no incentive to do that necessarily. And so I don't know where I was going with that. More movies, less, I don't know. That's I just want to see us back on the big screen. To circle back, not to freaking beat the dead horse. Sorry, that's a really sad phrase. Not to freaking harp on the same argument. I do need to watch Blade. I should, Charlie, I should. I should get into that. Max Rem. I admittedly really tapped out as well after Endgame. I think it's challenging because Infinity War and Endgame, oh my god, take me back to that, because that was cultural peak. The vibes in the air and just like the world collectively, like the stakes amplified to the most maximum possible extremes. And I just don't know if Marvel will ever be able to recapture that. And that is okay, but it's also just a tough pill to swallow, and they're not necessarily solving the issue with this kind of quantity thing. And to the point now I can't keep up with it. There's like 10 different Marvel shows and whatnot on Disney Plus right now. So I if anything, it pushed me away. I dropped off, and now I don't even have excitement. Like what you guys are talking about, is there a new Marvel thing coming out next year? I don't even know. And like that announcement of Robert Downey Jr. returning to play a character that is a casting choice that had a lot of people scratching their head. Like, this is how out of the loop I am with Marvel. I just don't know anymore. Nor did I really care when I saw that, that big reveal where Robert Downey Jr. ripped off the mask and announced he was going to be playing this role in, I don't even know what, Doctor Doom. Thank you. I sound like I don't know like what I'm talking about. I'm like, what's that character you kids are talking about? What's that movie, Avengers? Which number of Avengers are they on? That's what the frick I sound, right? Yeah, okay, Secret Wars, right. Like, I just don't know anything. So yeah, I've been out of the loop and might continue to be. I don't know. And that's okay. I've accepted that. I need to integrate into DC. I gotta get on the program with Superman. I gotta educate myself on that. I never watched Justice League, y'all. I never watched any of that, but I'm beginning to feel like I shouldn't, because well, I don't know. That is a can of worms that my brain still can't wrap its head around Snyderverse purists versus it's such a competitive this creator versus that creator, and the kind of depictions of the characters, and Henry Cavill's Superman versus the new Superman, David Cornsweet, and I don't know if I have the energy to get into all of that. It's like my primary fandom, Star Wars, has enough drama on its own. My other fandom, Lord of the Rings, every time Rings of Power comes out, that's a battle, that's a bloodbath online to defend that show. So it's just like, I already have enough drama. Like, I don't know if I can open a new can of worms. BMO Gaming, what is up? Good to see you. Man of Steel is the best, though. Okay, I think I did see that. That's the very first one with Henry Cavill, correct? Um, um, if I watch the Justice League, you need to watch the Snyder version. Yeah, like what? I don't know what all these different versions are. It's so confusing to me. But like something about Zack Snyder movies, because he did Rebel Moon, right? And wasn't there also a Snyder cut for that too? Um, and his movies, well, I've talked about him a lot. His style of filmmaking and his movies, something about it just makes me feel like I'm in a dream. And I don't know if that applies also to the Justice League films that he's done. But like it's hard for me to watch his I just feel like I'm in this dreamlike trance-like state. Like I could not get into Rebel Moon because of that. So I don't know. I'm not sure. I might delve into those on my own time. But I gotta watch Superman. So stay tuned for that. That'll probably hopefully come this month because I'm way behind on that. And if I do that and Sinners and 28 Years Later, then I think I'm caught up on some of the bigger theatrical releases. Thank you, Bew Bew. Yes, he uses too much slow-mo. That's what makes me feel like I'm in this like dreamlike state. When it comes to Superman, you can appreciate all the actors and iterations because they bring something new to the character and build on him. That's a good point, Ven. That is a really good point. And for me, the blueprint is Christopher Reeve. So my bar is high, but I saw a lot of really good praise for David Cornsweat's performance and his chemistry with my queen, Rachel Brosnahan, them as a duo. So I think I'm gonna go in open-minded. And listen, I'm excited. That like had everybody in a chokehold, and I feel like it was a big renaissance for like superhero movies. Like I feel like everybody's really had superhero fatigue as of late, but that movie when it was out, was that the summer? It was iconic. So yeah, I gotta get on that. I'll do that. Sinners 28 Years Later, the Mummy, and maybe we'll start a new show. That's right, young Rhaenyra is the new Supergirl. That's right. Young Rhaenyra. I feel like I will always just mentally associate her as that. Brosnahan was perfect as Lois. I knew she would eat and leave no crumbs. She's amazing. She's incredible. I really want to rewatch Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. That's just genuinely one of the best shows ever, and it's because of her. She's just incredible. So I'm shocked I haven't watched it yet, even just for her, because she's my girl crush. Her, Jodie Comer in 28 Years Later, and Florence Pugh. Those are my girl crushes. I love them. My taste in actresses. What's wrong with Rachel Brosnahan, Jodie Comer, and Florence Pugh? They are queens. I'm trying to think of others. I'm sure I have others, but those are my top three. Those are my top three, just ethereal love them. So I've not seen The Mummy. You did hear that right, Charlie, and I'm feeling invigorated. I'm feeling tempted to do so because of the news and the announcement of the remake, right? I'm not spreading misinformation. I saw that on Twitter, right? Isn't that happening? So I got to get on that. So we've got a lot in store for this month, which will be nice, but there's still horror in the mix there, so don't worry. Scaredy Cat is not going anywhere. I just had to recalibrate a little bit. So yeah, sorry that I really didn't do anything after all of that October to celebrate actual Halloween. What's wrong with me about The Mummy? Listen. I'll give a little disclaimer. How do I phrase this? When I was little, my parents were big on like educating us. What's up, Bird Church? Welcome back. Because I think you were here earlier, right? My parents were big on like educating us and taking us to the Franklin Institute, which is like a big science cultural museum that always has these different exhibitions. And so we went there once for the Titanic. We went for another nautical shipwreck exhibition, and we went when King Tut was making the rounds. When King Tut, after they dug him up, and oh my God, what a time. And I think I was young and I was a childhood trauma story incoming. Yeah, I was young. Listen, it was cool. That was cool as heck. I think I just would have appreciated it more as an adult because as a little kid, I was young and the concept of mummies, and he was so young. King Tut was what, like 14 when he perished? That, freaked me out a little bit. And this is nothing against mummification culture. I think I was just, my association was, oh, King Tut was a young little boy and he died and became a mummy. And so all mummies are like, that's sad and creepy and weird to me. I don't know that. I know it's not how it is, but that was my kind of just mental association. And so ever since then, I think I've had a little bit of a weird, like, irrational fear of like mummies. But I am gonna get over that to watch this movie. So maybe it'll help me snap out of my like King Tut little mini scared hyperfixation. Get on it. I'm gonna try. Oh, The Prince of Egypt is literally one of the greatest films of all time. That movie is freaking amazing. That movie is so good. So I gotta lock in. Taco, what the frick is up? I'm so sorry that so many of y'all are tuning in right as we're nearing the end here. Maybe we'll go for another 10 minutes or so. It's been so long. I can feel my voice box being like, girl, you haven't streamed for 3 hours and a hot minute. We can't talk anymore. So yes, I have to lock in and get over that to finally culture myself, because that's literally a cultural classic that I've never seen. I find that The Mummy is more of a comedy. Interesting. Okay. Maybe I'll keep that in mind. But I didn't know that. I didn't suspect that, and I would not have guessed that. So that's good to know going in. So yeah, we have a lot in store for the remainder of the month, and then I gotta pick a new show to watch. So maybe we will do Arcane, because that's not too much for me to chew, because it's only 2 seasons and they're each like 8 episodes, correct? Thank you, Bew. Love the new setup. I'm so grateful that y'all like it. I was so nervous that, like, because I am really not big on change, like, at all. So I was fearful how it would be received. But you know, I guess the old studio changed a lot too. If you go back and look at my first videos from when we had just moved to LA, there was nothing in that room. It was barren. And then we accumulated so much, partially thanks to you guys and all of the just stuff that you would send. Sorry. I should have gotten flavored water for this. All of the stuff that you guys would so kindly send in our PO box. Which, don't worry, I think we will. I'm getting things situated. I'm one step at a time. I had to get my just get new identification and whatnot and licenses, and so let me lock in and do all that stuff, all that life stuff, and then we will. We are still live, but as y'all can hear, my voice is tapping out, so we're gonna go for maybe 10 or so more minutes, because some of our close friends here have just joined. Even though we've been going for like 3+ hours, but I always hate that. It always happens to somebody. Some poor soul always tunes in right as we get ready to sign off. So maybe we'll go for another 10 minutes. Ooh. Taco, that is freaking crazy. I remember when she graduated, and I'm about to graduate in less than a year. That's crazy, and that is going to make me feel old. But enjoy it. Enjoy your last year, because then real life. You're in the golden days right now. You're in the glory days right now. Enjoy it. I wish I honestly could go back. The last year of college is low-key the best, because you know that light is at the end of the tunnel. And at that point, I feel like too, you've also fulfilled majority of your kind of elective and like mandatory history, science, math, English, politics classes, whatever your kind of essential core courses are. So then you can just pivot and focus entirely. Like your itinerary is just entirely your own, you know, whatever your electives are for your like major and stuff like that. Bird Church, remember, for 34 months. Holy shnikes. Hope everybody is having a great day / evening. I hope the same for you, my friend. Thanks for being here. I'm glad that we could catch you. I've seen you up in the chats for McBots and whatnot. Shout out to everybody who's been tuning into the McBots streams. Tom's been cruising through Battlefield there, so maybe I'll pick a new show to watch on my own time. Maybe I'll start Twin Peaks on my own, and then maybe I'll prepare to start Arcane intermittently between movie reactions and whatnot, because it is nice. The movie reactions are fun because it's one and done. I edit it and then it's over with, and I get to move on to the next thing. But it's nice to have the TV show reactions because you can get invested in something. So why am I closer to the red lightsaber than the blue one? What am I trying to tell you guys? Subliminal messaging. Oh my goodness. It is so much fun, but also the transition into the film industry is low-key scary. But I get to direct a movie in a few days, and I'm so excited. Well, best of freaking luck, Taco! Oh my gosh! That is awesome news! Yeah, that's another reason why the last year, your kind of senior year of college, is one of the best. You get to have your like senior project. I don't know if that's your senior project, but you have a lot of these like kind of big milestone final projects that are some of the most rewarding ones. So that is really exciting. And hey, the transition into the actual film industry, it's a wild time to enter it, and it's going to be, I think you're smart for going to school for it, because I remember moving to LA to pursue acting, and I kind of thought that I had a grasp of what the ropes were going to be, and I did not. And it was a lot of like trial by fire and kind of learning a lot of things about the ins and outs of the industry for the first time. So I think you are going to be well prepared to integrate into the industry. And now more than ever, I feel like people have I think there's newfound appreciation. Not that there wasn't pre-existing appreciation for it, but I feel like the plausibility for like indie films to find success is greater now than ever, because people are craving that. Like indie films are some of the better films nowadays, because like we were saying earlier, people are just sick and tired of, you know, overly saturated CGI and green screen and whatnot. And it's honestly indie films that have been some of the most like just ones that resonate with me the most. So I think you're entering at a prime time. Could I check out the Batman movie from 1989? I think I have watched that. I think I've seen that one. I always get them. I don't know dates, so you got to tell me who's Batman at the time. Is that Michael Keaton? Is that I just have them associated. A24, case in point. Exactly, Lord Insidious. I think A24 really did put like indie films on the market. Bubio, yes. What makes me inspired is seeing other YouTubers like Chris Stuckman. His film. I know the title of it. It's gonna kill me. It's like a name. It's obviously a name. What the heck is it? Something. I know it. Shelby Oaks. Yes, I was gonna say it's like a girl's name and a tree. Shelby Oaks. Yeah, and the way that popped off and their like return on investment. It is, and I think people want to support that. Like, people are sick of the monopolies of, I think, like, more people are becoming privy to how the ins and outs of, like, films get greenlit in Hollywood versus, like, you see films that get greenlit now, and they allegedly cost, like, the budget was $675 million. And then nobody's heard about it. And then it tanks at the box office. And then it's like, XYZ big studio lost all this money. Well, like, no shit. You know, like, we're kind of in that cycle of like films, you know, huge big budget films that are just not appealing to the larger audience, and we're sick of the kind of like monopoly that these big mega corporations and studios have, production studios, you know, dictating what gets approved and what doesn't. And then you can see, you know, smaller budget films like outperforming, because I think people are craving that. Like, people want to see, you know, art from like just hardworking indie filmmaking. Like, people root for that. I'm not saying people who work for the major studios aren't hardworking. If anything, they are worked to the bone. I mean, like we were saying earlier, you know, CGI artists and whatnot who they demand so much of them. Alice, thank you so much for being here. Don't be sorry. We're going to wrap up soon. It was so good to see you, my queen. I'll see you again very, very soon. But I think people are craving that. Like, people want to see smaller, lower budget indie filmmakers succeed, because you can see more like the evidence of their work in their stuff and whatnot. Does that make sense? Because they have to work more practically, and because they, you know, aren't as reliant on CGI. It's sad that so much money got pumped into one battle after another. See, I think I vaguely know what you're talking about, Major Fargas. Daddy Josh, remember for 37 months. Holy shnikes. Have a good night and weekend, y'all. Glad you and Tom are settling into the new place nicely. Daddy Josh, you stay tuned, my friend, because up next in my queue, I'm filming the reaction to you know what, wink wink, no spoilers. But it's been very long overdue. So stay tuned. I'll be you'll know when it's happening. That's so vague and ominous and mysterious. One battle after another. That sounds... Oh, this is the Leo DiCaprio film. I saw a lot of mixed things about this. Was this good? Major product... Okay, frick, yeah. 94% on Rotten Tomatoes, 4.3 out of 5 on Let. Okay, so it was. It was. That's the thing. We're in this weird timeline, though, where people still aren't going to the box office. I loved that, by the way. My favorite movie of the year. Okay. But like, yeah, like, and I'm guilty of this, because have y'all been to the movies lately? Now, granted, life might be better outside of LA. The biggest change in our quality of life, y'all, has been the cost of living. The cost of living in Los Angeles, going to the movies is not just some casual thing that you do. You carve out $50 for, that's if you want to ball out and get 2 adult tickets for IMAX, and God forbid, get yourself a little sweet treat, a little Coke and popcorn and M&Ms. Yeah, the price, exactly, Matthew. I watched your October Moments video last night, and it was cool, scary, but cool. And I just wanted to make sure that I am okay. Thank you, Jack Thomas. I'm doing fabulously, y'all, after Reactober, and I am not going to stop with the horror reactions, because they honestly have become very fun for me. I see the appeal of them. I don't know how people are surviving there either, Ven, now that we've relocated. It was crazy, y'all, on our road trip coming back, experiencing just the immediate drop in costs as we traveled through western states, and we were in like Wyoming, you know, going to get breakfast in a small town in Wyoming, and the total bill was like $23. It felt the same like when we were in Japan. When we were in Japan in the spring for Celebration, the conversion rate is just very favorable over there. Like, you could pay for full lunch for 2 grown adults, and it was like $7 US with the like, that's how it felt. It was like, okay, I see now the appeal of living anywhere other than LA. So we have not yet gone to the movies, so maybe tickets here are actually reasonably priced, and not like $45 for 2 IMAX tickets. But still, it's like, back in the day, you see our elders bragging about, it was 5 cents to go to the movies when I was a kid. AMC A-List Plus, 50% off Tuesdays, and you and the significant other can go to the movies for $15 total. Honestly, that actually sounds like a membership worth signing up for, where you actually get like your return on investment. So maybe I will go and become an AMC A-List member, because I do feel bad. Like, I want to be able to go and support. There's so many things that I want to see. More often than not, I find myself saying like, oh, I would actually really like to go see that, but then I don't, because I'm mentally like, well, that's $50 that I could spend elsewhere, and I know it will come on streaming eventually within 6 months time, if that. Just so it's like, we're in this weird time now where it really does think I think you like kind of like how songs go crazy after they start trending on TikTok. Like, I think if something pops off and you see people really tweeting about a movie, like, then people go make an effort to go and see it. But yeah, like, it's like, am I gonna pay $50 to go see this now? Listen, we can sacrifice the popcorn and the M&Ms and the slushy, but do we want to? No, it's an experience. So that's why it's become like a treat. It is a special occasion to like go to the theaters now. Exactly. Inflation ain't no joke. Exactly. So it's like $30 a month, but go twice a month and it pays for itself. That's so true, Fartigas. And going to the movies is great. So maybe I'll look into that. Maybe I'll bite the bullet and I'll do it. I'll sign up to be an AMC A-List member. Y'all have convinced me to sign up for Apple TV. So you know what? We're gonna be changed after this. We're gonna lock in. Remember that Taco Bell in Japan? I was just reminiscing about that, Charlie. I reminisce about Japan a lot. I miss that. That was such a good time. I just still can't believe that we were there. Like, sometimes so much has happened this year. The way this year started, y'all, like the fires in LA, and if you had told me at the beginning of the year, don't worry, you're not going to be living there by September, I would have been like, huh? Like, just so much life change, but also then being in like Japan in the spring, a place I never thought I would go. Like, I keep having flashbacks to it, so I miss it a lot. I've been reminiscing about how I regret getting that Taco Bell, because it was just not good. That was on me. I wasted one meal on fast food. Sue me. It was a long day of celebration. Oh my goodness. Well, on that note, it has been a year, and it has been a long time since I've seen y'all. Long time no see, and it's been a long stream. So hopefully this was mega enough. We've been going for 3.5 hours now, and I think you can hear it from my voice box that I am a little bit tapped out. I didn't have my flavored water on standby. I'm so stupid. I had a new flavor too. It looks radioactive. It's great. It's lemon lime, and it literally looks like Windex. Like, does not look edible by any means, but it's like, it looks radioactive. It's cool. It's Imagine Dragons radioactive water. So I'll have that on standby next time. And I promise next time will not be freaking 3 months out from here. Maybe we'll do a paint stream or something next week. Or a Night Owl stream or something fun to continue catching up. I'll tell you what, I'll watch Visions between now and then so that I'll have something else to chirp about. But don't worry, it's not actually radioactive, Sean. It just looks like it. It really looks like cleaning product. But I'll have it next time. I literally made a mental note to have it, and I was going to show y'all and be like, look, this one looks like Windex. It doesn't look like I'm drinking an IPA on stream. Exactly. It looks like the water that turns you into the Hulk. I'll have it next time. I'll show y'all. But until then, holy shnikes, thank you guys so much for hanging out. So many of you have been here since we literally kicked things off 3 hours ago. So if you have spent your afternoon/morning/evening with us, thank you so freaking much. I really missed the crap out of you guys. Genuinely can't even fully convey how good this felt. And thank you guys for showing up after I dropped off for a hot minute and had to recalibrate. I had to recalibrate after Reactober, and submitting my first grad school assignment and learning the ropes there. So I have that under my belt now, so I have a better idea of how to gauge my time going forward. So hopefully I won't be spending a week at a time at the end of each of my modules finishing my projects and dipping off of the channel, but bear with me if I do. Until then, I'll catch you guys. I don't know what my next video is going to be, but I'll catch you in it. Whether it's a movie reaction or something else, stay tuned. I just got here. I'm so sorry. This happens to somebody every time, Max, and I'm so sorry it had to be you. There's always a sacrificial somebody who logs in right as we are getting ready to wrap up. But don't worry, we'll be back. We're not going anywhere. We're locking back in. We're officially back. Like, I have not felt like I have been back until now, getting to just like stream with y'all again and hang out. So I hope you guys have been doing so amazing. I hope the past 3 months of your lives have been phenomenal. We're gonna rocket these last few months of the year together. Holy shnikes. Don't worry, I'm not gonna dip off again. We will return. And yeah, my brain just shut off, so that's time. It's a sign. Okay. I love you guys. Thank you guys so very much for joining. Seriously, I honestly really thought only 2 people were going to show up today, and I would have deserved it because it's been a very long time. But thank you for being here regardless. Hope you have a great rest of your day, night, morning, evening, 3 a.m., wherever you may be. Hope the force will be with you always, and I will see you guys again very, very soon. Almost forgot my outro because it's been that freaking long. Never. It's muscle memory. Okay. Bye, friends.